Can you guys hear me? Can you guys hear me at all? Hello, hello. Can you guys hear me at all? Give me a thumbs up if you can hear me. All right. Thank you, Cindy. Appreciate you, and thank you for being here. Thank you, everybody. Appreciate you all. Let me go down the line here. Norma, good morning, DD and beautiful Chad. Hey, DD and everyone. Good morning, DD and Chad, says Alan. Pam. Barney, hello, everyone. Have any of you ever heard of Shane? He's a new one. He was brought up by April, lived 2 miles away from April. So just like the other day, we covered Janiyah. Now we're covering Shane. Barney, hey, Carol, L, Bammy, I believe local to April, Sue, Ellen. Good morning, everyone. Good morning, Sue. Analyze Doug. Good morning, my friend. Doug, there is a link there for you, my friend. There is a link for you, Doug. Oh, please hit the like and share it out, everybody. Let's get it. Click them likes. Carol, Doug, Sue. Hurrah. Everybody's in the house. Good to have you all. Cindy Dexter, good to have you. You are newer. You are lurking. Click like, subscribe. Come on in. Everybody has an opinion, and everybody's opinion matters. Carol, Cindy, hi. I'm a dreamer. Welcome in. I'm a dreamer. Carolina girl, good to have you. April, good morning. Good morning, April. Jean, Dee, good morning. And Chad, welcome in. Welcome in, Jean. Annie, hello, Annie. Welcome in. Whew. All right, everybody. Apologize about yesterday, but had some business to attend as well as later on today. So we'll probably do a morning. I can't guarantee you we'll do an evening only because of the situation. We need as a family to take care of some issues with my brother. He has taken a turn for the worst. So that is where I was yesterday. Link never appeared. Let me try it again. There you go, Doug. I think I forgot to hit the little arrow. My bad. So, yeah, that's where I was yesterday. I had to go to the hospice. They now looks like they're looking at 1 to 2 days. That was as of yesterday. So 1 to 2 days. It's not a whole long time. He seemed very strong, but apparently his Alzheimer's and his dementia were really kicking in. So I don't know. Only God knows when it's your time. Good morning, dog. Good morning, Barney. Welcome in, Bible. Hey, thank you so much. Appreciate that, Doug. Appreciate that. It means a lot. Carol, prayers. Prayers are always the answer for everything, guys. Tabitha, good morning. Good morning. Dee Dee and your family. Thank you so much, Tabitha. Appreciate you. Sorry to hear that, Dee Dee. No, I get you, Chris, and thank you. And Chris, while I'm at it, here is the link. Here is the link. So I don't know if we'll do a evening channel. It just depends. Later, a little later, I'm going to go out there back to the hospital on the hospice side. And yeah, I don't know. I don't know. But I do know I want to cover this because this is something we've been talking about. This is something that April brought us to. It's not that we've been talking about it, but April brought it up, and I think it was a good case. Yesterday was a phenomenal case, especially getting talked to the special guest that was with us, Pebbles. That was great. Great information. Granny Jackal, welcome in, Granny Jackal. So why don't we go ahead? Appreciate all the kind words, everybody. Appreciate all the love and support. And understand, just one of those things in life, you take the punches as it goes. Seems like I've been taking a lot of punches here lately. Literally talking about my family. But we do what we do, leave it in God's hands, and we march forward. So that's all we can do. That's all we can do. Thank you so much. I appreciate that. Appreciate it. Like I said, I appreciate all you guys. You guys are my true friends in the channel. You guys are my true friends, and I do appreciate that. And I, believe me, I would be here all the time if I could. All right, let's get going with that. Shane Allen Workman from Lewistown, Pennsylvania. Mifflin County. He disappeared April 25th, 2017. Hang on 1 second. I want to make sure you guys got the Chris. There's the link. And Doug. There's the link. Come on in if you like, my friends. Carolina girl, a good friend of mine, been on life support for almost 2 months, came off yesterday, a freak storm accident, and got hit by a tree. Oh, wow. Sorry to hear that. Sorry to hear that, Carolina girl. Sorry to hear that. Welcome in. Welcome in. All right. I'm going to take it that you guys are in. You're in. Is that Doug?
That's Doug.
All right. Sorry, buddy. I didn't even see.
You're good morning, Doug.
All right. Good morning, my friend. So, Chris, if you see Chris pop up, let me know. I'm going to be reading some stuff here.
Okay.
All right. So, on April 25th of 2017, Shane was 31 years old at this time. He was 31 when he went missing. Now, the idea that they found some remains, and how that happened was a duck hunter was going down the Susquehanna, that's a hard word for me to say, Susquehanna River, and he was going down and he found these like bones, and in that process, after investigation and getting a hold of law enforcement, they found that they were skeletal remains. And they didn't know who they were at the time, right? They had no clue who they were at the time. So they obviously did their testing. They did a lot of stuff, literally. I mean, literally, they did a lot of stuff to test it, genealogy, the whole 9 yards. I mean, they literally wanted to know whose remains was this. And they were found near the Ely Island. Just happened to stumbled over it, to be honest. Just stumbled over it. It was not like he was looking for it. The gentleman that found it. And this was found on July 25th, 2021. July 25th, 2021. So the idea is that they consisted of 2 femurs and a tibia bone. Now, I'll be honest with you. If I had found those, I wouldn't have thought a whole lot because I'm not sure what the hell a femur bone is or a tibia bone. I don't want to know. You don't have to explain it to me. I can read it later. But 2 femur bones and a tibia bone, okay? And the idea, the idea that they went ahead and he found these bones and then they were able to identify them. That's the kicker, to be able to identify the technology that we have today. And the remains were found near Ellie Island. They tested it. DNA testing leads to identification. So the case was initially entered into the National Missing and Unidentified Person System, NAMUS. Then in May of 2024, the coroner's office partnered with DNA Doe Project to start an investigation using forensic genetic genealogy. I mean, this person, they really wanted to know who in the heck this person was, which, hey, kudos to them for not giving up. After taking it to different labs, technicians, they were able to extract DNA, which eventually led to the investigation identifying the remains. In April, investigators collected the DNA swabs from Workman's mother. So they went to her mother. So they had to have some type of clue or some type of thought, just maybe they'd be a relation. Because they went to the mother, I think after the genealogy, they went ahead and went to the mother and they got a swab DNA from her. And yeah, Cindy is her name. Cindy is the mother. She's the one on the picture of this live stream. And then on Thursday, Lewistown Police Department, Mary Woods, on a Lancaster County coroner investigator, met with Workman's family to confirm that the remains were positively identified as his more than 9 years after he went missing. Now think about that, folks. 9 years after someone goes missing. Welcome in, Melly. Welcome in. Norma, welcome in. So after 9 years that this man, 31-year-old man, went missing, 9 years, they found that those were his remains. And how they also, what led them to a lot of these things was that they went ahead and they identified him. They also very, very, very emotional, apparently, like it would be for anything. I mean, I'd give anything to find remains, even remains of my sister. I'd give anything for that. They were very emotional. It was emotional for everybody present. And as you can imagine, Wood said it kind of takes the family from maybe having hope to a little bit of closure. And that's the big thing with everybody when they go missing. It's what the family looks for, is that closure. They look for that closure. They just want to be able to say, yes, that's our son, that's our brother, that's our sister, that's our loved one, that's our friend. Okay? That's when someone goes missing, that's really what it's all about. They just want confirmation one way or the other on how this is going to end. They don't want to go, unfortunately, to their graves not knowing what exactly happened. Okay? They want to know what happened. And that's the beauty of at least this case, that also it was a little bittersweet, yet they got closure. Even though he was identified, we still aren't certain. They're saying that they're not certain what happened. So in that regard, it's still ongoing investigation. So they're not sure exactly how he became alive. I mean, you got to remember, they just had the 2 femur bones and the 1 tibia bone. But at least they were able to make sense of who it was. So Workman was last seen leaving a residence he shared with his parents in Lewistown, Pennsylvania. That's where he stayed with was his parents. He stayed with his parents in Lewistown, Pennsylvania. Purple, good morning, Purple. Joan, good morning, Joan. Thank you for being here. Appreciate you both. Click that like, everybody. Don't forget, click that like, share the stream, and get it to your algorithms. It's the only way we're going to grow, everybody. And his parents, he was last seen at, he shared a home with his parents in Pennsylvania, Lewistown. He took a walk to the Sheets. Now, if you don't know anything about that part, that neck of the woods in Pennsylvania and West Virginia and that area, Sheets are all over the place. Sheets is like, it would be kind of like a Citgo in the Midwest, probably like same as like a Circle K, but a lot bigger. Sheets is a lot bigger than that. They have a little bit more, they have quite a few more things to offer at the gas station. It's a gas station, but it's huge. Nowhere near as big as Buc-ee's, obviously. Okay. Nowhere near as big as Buc-ee's, not even close to it. But it is a lot bigger than your average. I would say it's probably equivalent to a TA truck stop. You know what I'm saying? A TA truck stop. It's kind of like that size. It's pretty big. So, you know, having said that, it's got a lot of things to offer. It really does. And it's privately owned. We know they're making their money. Kind of like a Wawa, right? It's big. It's not small like Circle K or maybe even QT. We just got a QT in close to our area, but it's not like a QT, but it's just, I would say probably maybe 4 sizes of a Citgo, maybe 6 sizes of a Circle K. They have a lot to offer is the best way to put it. So awesome, Barney. Awesome. So with that being said, he was walking from his parents' home and where he stayed, and it was only a block away. A block away. Okay, that's how close he lived. And the parents ended up going camping during this time. They took a camping trip, and they went camping. You know, they're not expecting anything. His son's 31 years old. He's doing his thing. And next thing you know, they're contacted by a neighbor on April the 30th. And he was concerned, this neighbor, because he said he kept hearing the dogs barking and no one was letting the dogs out. And that's probably why Shane didn't go, because he was going to be responsible of making sure those dogs got in and out, you know, when they needed to. That Sheets is 2 miles from me, says April. It's very close, 2 miles. And here's the thing, folks. April 30th, because Workman's dog had not been getting let out, that guy ended up calling the parents who were on their camping trip, and they let them know, you know, like, hey, I don't know where Shane's at, but the dogs are barking a lot and, you know, no one's letting them out. So the parents attempted to call and text Workman on his phone, but they got no response, nothing, zero. And that's got to be a very frightening moment at that point, okay? To call and then you don't get no response. You have somebody saying, hey, dogs are barking. They haven't been let out since you guys have been gone. I mean, it doesn't look good. So the parents attempted to call. They couldn't get through. There was nothing there. So a friend was sent inside. They got a hold of a friend, and he was sent inside the home and found that Workman was absent. Shane was never in there. He wasn't even at the house. And apparently this neighbor knew that he would be, you know, taking out the dogs. It's what neighbors do. They'll say, hey, or friends will do. They'll say, hey, keep an eye on the place. We'll be gone, but Junior's going to be there. In this case, Shane's going to be there. He'll let the dogs out, this type of thing. And neighbors will do that. And sometimes neighbors will let neighbors go ahead and help them out when they're going somewhere. That's just a friendly thing that happens between lots of people. Any hi to ever I missed to let coach. Yeah. L, it was crazy. Needs to stop playing with things. So what's ended up happening is a friend was sent to the home, found out that Workman, Shane, wasn't there, but nothing appeared out of place. Nothing appeared out of normal. Okay. So you got this guy walking in. He sees the dog. He doesn't see Shane, who's supposed to be there, but he doesn't see anything out of place, right? Now, I don't know about you, but if I go to a place like that and I'm told, hey, check to see if everything's okay, I go in there, I'm probably going to say, yeah, everything's fine. Nothing seems out of place. I'll let the dogs out, right? I'll let the dogs out, and then I'll bring him in, or dog. I'll let him out and bring him in because he didn't see anything that was out of the ordinary. So after that happened, shortly after that is when the deputies contacted the coroner's office and said to the deputies, okay, I'm sorry, I missed here. Hang on. The statement from the coroner's office said, despite an arrest history that Shane had, I guess he was always kind of like in trouble, but since he got his job, he was cleaning himself up. He was trying to do better. He was actually going ahead and just trying to get his life together. He was working at a job, was doing well. Everything seemed to be going well. And then after that, everything just started turning around. At the time of his disappearance, he had a good job and was a loving father to his teenage daughter. So he did have a teenage daughter. Okay, he did have a teenage daughter. And they said he was a loving father, loved his daughter, etc., etc., etc. So now the investigation remains active. They did end up calling the mom and dad and letting them know that about the remains, and that's how they found out. And that's when they came back. The investigation remains active. The circumstances of the workman's death remain under investigation. Currently, there are various leads based on Workman's cell phone record. So apparently they had his cell phone, and they believe that there's a lot of leads. But hell, how long has it been? They haven't made any arrests or anything. So it's been a while, right? It's been a while. But through their phone, looking at Shane's phone, they were able to go ahead and see that there was a lot of possibilities of things that could have happened. So that's what they mean when they say that they had a lot of leads, as well as evidence collected in the recovery of the remains. Okay, so when they recovered his fibia and his fibias and femur bones, when they collected that, they had put it on Facebook. Okay, they had literally put it on Facebook so everybody would know in case somebody knew something. But there was also other evidence that was collected near those bones. They shared a photo of Cindy Workman below, holding a photo of her son and his daughter, who was just 14 when her father disappeared. She was 14 years old. Think about this. A kid is 14 years old, his daughter. She no longer has her dad. Her dad is gone. Okay? It's got to be shocking. I don't know what exactly he was involved when he was younger, but he was in constant trouble and been arrested several times. So, but the parents said that he was trying to clean himself up, and not that he was trying, that he was cleaning himself up. He was working, and that's really a big sign for parents because that's what they want. They just want what's best for their kids. Oleg, why was he walking to the garage at 10 p.m.? Was he meeting someone? No, he wasn't going to the garage. He was going to Sheets. The Sheets. It's like a gas station, Sheets gas station. That's where he was actually walking to, was the Sheets gas station. I don't know if he was going to pick up something to drink, or get some chips or pop. I don't know. They never said on his way back. On his way there, he went missing. So I'm not even sure he even made it there, because there was no reported of surveillance cameras that Sheets normally has outside their stores that captured him. So, that were able to capture a photo of him. But nevertheless, yeah, he I don't think he ever even made it. April, Oleg, they don't know. He just told his dad he was going to the Sheets and would be back. We call the garage here in Little UK, laughing out. Oh, got you. So totally understandable. So he did have a 14-year-old daughter. That had to be shocking. I don't think, I don't know this individual, but when you have a kid, especially when they get into their teens, and she was 14, that's their prime of their life as well. That's when they start being molded as to become the young lady that they're going to become. They're learning, and now she doesn't have that father figure there with her. So what ends up happening is the detectives are hoping that somebody will come forward with information, and they leave numbers where they should contact the police if they have any information whatsoever. Now, Shane's family said he had passed arrest. He struggled with drug use, and his mother believed his disappearance could have been related to that part of his life. He may have owed some money. He may have owed some, maybe he had, used some drugs and didn't pay for it, and somebody was there to collect. We don't know, but that was what his issues were. His arrests were all about literally the drug use, and just the idea that he was probably drinking as well, quite a bit. April, hello, Melly. I was wondering about that. So it very well could have been. Now, like I said, his mother wasn't hiding the fact that she just said, she thought maybe that was the reason why all this was attributed to, because it all played a role of his past, and it very well could have. You hear it all the time. You hear it all the time in the bigger cities where people will who are using, and then they get fronted X amount, and then they can't pay it, and then they end up becoming unalive. You hear that a lot. So she's thinking that it could have been related to that. So here's the kicker. On the night he disappeared, he was reportedly with a woman, briefly, a woman. And he told his mother that someone had been following them before he left again. So apparently somebody was keeping an eye on it. I don't know if it was the woman's, if she was previously married. I don't know if she was previously engaged or seeing someone else. I have no clue, because they don't say any of that. But what they do say is that he was with the woman. Okay. They don't give the woman's name, but he was with the woman. And he told his mother that someone had been following them. Now, I don't know about you all, but I always watch my six. So I always know if somebody's kind of like trying to tag me, keeping a tag on me, following me, or even if every so often, if I feel that I just happen to turn around constantly, because I always know who's behind me. Okay, it's just a military thing. So he may have felt that, especially knowing that he probably in his past used drugs and alcohol, that he owed people. He probably was always worried, right? Always looked behind. Makes a lot of sense. And then he told his mom that somebody had been following them before he left again. That detail has raised questions, but it has not been tied publicly to a specific person. He could never tell them like what this person looked like. He could never tell them what he, what this person drove if they were following. He couldn't say anything because he didn't know. He just had that feeling that someone was watching him, and probably so. Especially when you lead that type of life, that's exactly what's probably going to happen. You're always going to have somebody lurking until they find that right time, right place to do whatever they want to do. His family had some people involved in discussing the case. So his family and some people involved in discussing the case had mentioned possible people of interest or tips. So even the family knew possibly, and friends possibly knew who his friends were or the people that, he was running with. So they did have people that they could look to, that law enforcement could go and make contact with and talk to. I don't know whatever happened with that. They don't specify. Apparently, they just wasn't nothing that they could get, I guess. But then again, we don't even know if they even followed up on those leads or if those people that were people of interest literally got out and dodged for a while, out of sight, out of mind type of deal. It happens quite a bit. So they started discussing the case, mentioned possible people of interest and tips, but authorities have not announced that the individual was responsible. So even though they talked about possible people of interest who could have played a role in this, they still didn't find, law enforcement couldn't find anything. Good morning, Cicely. Welcome in. They couldn't find anything to correlate the disappearance with the individual. Okay, so yeah, it just, once again, with all the crime stories that we have been covering, it seems like that's always something that it's pretty sad that we have to ask the question constantly. Did they do this? Did law enforcement do that? Did they ask the right questions? I don't know. I have no clue, because in a lot of cases that we cover, seems like there's always someone dropping the ball. I think that's fair to say. So then it just basically goes on to say that there is no confirmed explanation of what happened. Now, here's a little bit. Shane, 31, was living in his parents in Lewistown, Pennsylvania. A woman came to his home. Now, this woman came to his home. The woman that he was seen with came to his home. Now, we don't know if this woman was a part of the setup. Maybe this woman was with those other guys, and she was trying to lure him out to a certain area, almost like basically setting him up, let's just say. I don't know that to be factual. That's just my thinking right now off the cuff. Okay. That girl, that woman could have been somebody who he knew and he thought he could trust and talk to, when in reality, maybe this woman was all a setup to get him out in a certain location and then do whatever they did to him, if in fact that's what happened. I don't know that to be true, but I would guess that's where this is going. A woman came to his home that day and spent time with him. They later left together briefly. According to the case summary, they went to the end of the alley. Then Shane returned and told his mother that someone had been following them. So she got him out there, right? Maybe she was giving him some drugs. You don't know. Maybe she was providing him some, for a better lack of words, some of that stuff so that he could get high with or whatever. Mary Woods was our resource officer at the school I worked at, and she is a very good detective. I think foul play will solve it. Thank you, Mary. Thank you, April. Appreciate that. So yeah, so this lady is a detective at a lady that April had worked with, at the school, resource officer. So according to the case, he came home and told his mom that somebody had been following them. I don't know if they were really following them or if she was basically setting them up. I don't know. I would not put that past anything. Al says she knows something, in my opinion, who he was seen with. That's my opinion, though. Yeah, I agree with that wholeheartedly, Al. Shane went back inside briefly, then left again, telling his father he was going to walk to a nearby Sheets. This is when he does leave again to go to a Sheets gas station and asking if he wanted anything, but he never came back. Shane never came back. So he goes, a friend comes to the door, knock, knock, knock. Hey, Shane, what's going on? I haven't seen you in a while. They hang out, talk a little bit. All of a sudden, they go outside, and next thing you know, guess what? They feel like someone's watching them. Were they watching them, or was she setting them up? We don't know that. Just a thought. And then all of a sudden, she leaves. He goes back home. He tells his mom that somebody's been watching them. Tells his dad, does he need anything from the store? And then he leaves to go to Sheets and never comes back. Sounds to me, good morning, Marianne. Sounds to me like this very well could have been a setup, without a doubt, in my opinion. Could have been a setup. The key is trying to locate the girl. I don't know if they ever did, to find out what she really knew and maybe brought her in as a person of interest. That's what I would have done, brought her in as a person of interest if I knew who she was. They may not even know who she is. Doug says, is he talking to his father via phone? No, he came home to tell his mother that. And then they said he asked his father if he needed anything from the store. And then when whatever was said, he left to go to Sheets. And then when he left is when he never returned. Melly Barney, I have you tried closing an app down and reopening it. Marianne, good morning all. I thought the parents were camping though. Well, this is probably when he left and he didn't come back. My assumption is that when he left and didn't come back, the family didn't think anything of it. They just went on their camping trip. You know what I mean? I think it would sound to me like this was already all planned out. So he probably said, Dad, you need anything? And I'm adding this little tidbit. Hey, Dad, you need anything? You need anything for the trip? No, son, I'm good. Okay. He leaves. He never comes back. Mom and Dad said, oh, we know how our son is. He's always, going here, going there. So they went on their camping trip. That's how I think it happened, Doug. I'm not sure, but that's the only way it would make sense to me. I'm a dreamer. Good morning, Marianne. After the disappearance, his parents did not realize he was missing immediately because they left for camping that trip the next morning. So when he didn't come back, they were left the next morning. So there's your answer right there. They left the next morning, and they became concerned when they returned and Shane could not be reached. His house keys was reportedly left on his bed, and his room appeared undisturbed. The main theories, here are the main theories that they have. Drug-related trouble. Always got to be drug or alcohol related. Please hit the likes, everyone. Click that likes. Let's get those algorithms going, everybody. Hit those likes and subscribe. Doug says, I'm sorry, but I find that very strange. No, I agree. Not when you get dealing with these type of missing things and you don't have really anything, and I'm speaking more of the parents to really go by, it's very difficult to put all those nuances in there. I agree with you wholeheartedly. So Now the drug-related trouble. Shane had a history of arrest and drug use, and his mother believed his disappearance could have been connected. And we covered that earlier. That was part of his life. She also said he had been trying to improve his situation, had a job, and was closer with his daughter before he vanished. Now, I don't know. They don't talk a lot about the mother. I don't know if she passed, she didn't pass. I have no clue. Truth Warrior, good morning, Devil Doggedy. Good morning to the Maz and chat. Good morning. Welcome in, Truth Warrior. So I don't know that situation as far as, what they're saying, that the possibility publicly named, the fact that Shane said someone was following him, he was led people to wonder whether someone was watching him, threatening him. However, police have not publicly named anybody. Now, the mom said he had a job. He was trying to turn his life around. He got closer to his daughter. I don't know if his divorce, I don't even know if he was married, but I don't know if the mother of the daughter knew someone else who was with someone else. And maybe they didn't like the fact that he was getting close to his daughter. It's like 101 theories out there, and that's just a theory. I have no idea if it's even accurate, but it's just something to really think about. Sherry Messina, welcome in. Good to have you, Sherry. So now you have literally his past of drug abuse. Now you have literally, we don't know anything really about the mom because they really don't talk about the mom. I don't know if she was deceased or whatnot, but let's just say hypothetically, and this is not in the report, but hypothetically could have been the mom seeing someone else and they were together and her husband did not like her ex-husband, or her husband did not like who she used to be with, and because her and the daughter were getting close, he thought he'd go ahead and take care of that. You never know. There's a lot of crazy scenarios here. But until we get the information that we're looking for, we're really not going to know, because all we're going to be able to do is speculate until they find those nuggets that they need to be able to piece the story together. You know what I mean? Good morning. Good morning, everybody. Marianne, I grew up with a Messina. Good to have you. Thank you for being here. So the other possibility was the fact that a random encounter. Another possibility is that something happened after he left for Sheets that was unrelated to anyone he knew. There has been no public evidence proving this either. So they're looking basically at anything and everything, because when you don't have those little nuggets, those little clues, it's kind of hard to piece everything together. April, he was in and out of jail for drugs a lot. I have never heard mention of the girl's mother, and I live here. See, so maybe the mother of the girl, either she didn't want nothing to do with him or her daughter, or maybe they broke off their relationship. She ends up getting with somebody else. He doesn't like that he's getting close to his daughter, so then he takes him out. That is just, I'm not saying that's exactly what happened. I'm saying that's a possibility, right? There's always possibilities to everything. And that kind of fits that narrative, right? You're a bad influence for your daughter. You're a bad influence. I hear from my wife all the time about how you really are. I don't like you messing around. I'm going to take care of you. That does happen. Make no mistake. Doug, good morning. Darlene, good morning, says Truth Warrior. So there's a lot of there. We just don't know exactly those nuggets that could piece that together. And you got to understand, this is a long time that he has gone missing. So you got like 9 years he's been gone roughly. They only find the skeletal of the femurs, two femurs, and the tibia. Not a hell of a lot to go with. I mean, you can get DNA, obviously, like they did to show who he was, but not to be able to go ahead and find out like a reason for his unaliving, because was he struck in the head? There was no skull, there was no nothing. You know what I'm saying? Other than those parts. So 9 years is a long time, in all honesty. Later remains found in Pennsylvania were identified as Shane's through DNA testing. So I had read somewhere, and I'm thinking it was this case, and it may have been in my book or something, that I wrote some stuff down, but I'm not seeing it here, so I'm not going to even talk about it. But so the idea, I thought they said when they found the femur, and I could be wrong on this, but when they found the femur and the tibia, that they also found a belt and a lighter, butane lighter, and there was something else that was found. Welcome in, Quentin. Welcome in. And a butane lighter, a belt, and something else, and that also helped them to identify those items. You follow me? A big case here because he was missing so long and finally identified. We are in a small country town. A lot of them towns up in Pennsylvania are small. For sure, they're small. They're small. They're up on hills. Yeah, it's really just, for a better lack of words, when you're going that long, man, these cold cases are not easy, as you all know that. But I thought that's also what they found, and I could be mistaken. It may be another case, but I thought it was this one, that they found a belt, a butane lighter, and something else, and that's how they were able to determine those were his items. The parents recognized those items. Hope you are doing well, Gene. Marianne, Bible. So the idea now is that, Tabitha, the idea is that that's what we have, Sherry. That's the whole point of everything, right? Of what we're dealing with. So they know who this man is. What they don't have is, I haven't heard anybody talk about who the girl was. Who that girl was that came to the house. Now, if it was somebody who the family knew, let's say it was the mother of the daughter, well, then they would have recognized her, right? More than likely. So it had to be just a girl that he knew, that he trusted, because somebody who's into the drug atmosphere, living that drug life, they don't trust a lot of people. Okay, they don't trust a lot of people because they never know who's really like. They know some of the things they're doing are very, very wrong and are probably goes against the grain, or they're probably in trouble because they owe something to somebody. So they don't trust a lot of people. People who do drugs, it's not like that. They don't trust people. So this person he had to have known must have had trusted her. And then when they came back that second time, and that's when he told his mom someone was following them, and then told the dad if he needed anything, then he leaves, never to return again. And then the parents leave because he doesn't come home. They figure like it's no big deal. 31 years old, he'll watch the dog. They leave, go camping, only to find out later that this duck hunter found these bones and it came back to so and so. So very, very interesting case here, without a doubt. Very, very interesting case. Regardless of his bad history, he was very popular. And even then, guys, even when somebody has, I've seen people with very bad arrest records and very bad habits, if you will, and then I've also seen the transformation of those people who have turned their lives around. So it's not like they're not important, and it's not like they're useless, and it's not like they don't matter. No one deserves to be unalive for no reason. For no reason, no one deserves to be unalive. April, okay, 1,000 people were searching for him. So a lot of people were searching for him. They must have known the mom and dad as well. They must have known the daughter had to go to school there. And you got to remember the schools out there, they're not like humongous out there in the outskirts. They're pretty smaller. They're smaller in amount of people that they have. So that really could have been why they all were helping trying to find him or find out anything about him, because his daughter was 14 years old when he went missing. She would have been in the prime of her, 14 would have been a freshman year, more than likely, her freshman year in high school. So that's that case. I haven't found anything literally to say either which way, and there hasn't been any witnesses. And honestly, I'll be honest, I'm not sure anybody. This is definitely a cold case, and I will almost be going on a limb to say that I'm not sure anybody's really looking into this case right now at this time. I say that loosely. I don't know that to be true, but yeah, there's when you get cold cases, they're always working on other cold cases. So if this one comes in, it goes to where that file is. It goes to that bottom, and the next ones are keep going until they reach that one. And if another one comes, it goes to the bottom. They don't go straight to the top unless they have a pretty good idea who the suspects are. So that's why this is, definitely a cold case, in my opinion. April, I also had the daughter in my middle school when he went missing. I think that's why Mary Woods was so determined to help. See, I mean, a lot of people knew this individual, right? A lot of people knew this individual. You know, April was working at the school, which he saw the daughter several times. So definitely, you could see how he was definitely in that community. Not everybody makes the right decisions. But let me hear what you guys got. What you think, Doug? What's your point? What's your take?
Yeah, it's a strange one for sure. I don't think that anyone will try to investigate or it'll be solved unless some new evidence comes forward or somebody said something, or the fact
Yeah,
that they only found the legs is a little suspicious.
right.
Like, was there tool marks on the legs, or was there like animal thing? Like, how did they get removed from the rest of the body?
Right.
Because I mean, it very well could have been an accident if it was animals, but I just don't think it was an accident.
Well, just a mere fact of putting the aspect of having drugs involved, the pattern of drugs. Drugs usually follows alcohol.
Hmm.
Okay, and then the mom even saying that he had a very checkered past, for a nicer way of putting it. He had a arrest record. He was getting into trouble, but then he kind of started to turn his life around. He got a job. Now, I say that loosely. He tried to turn his life around. I don't know what he tried to do. You know what I'm saying? Maybe he needed to get a job to continue his habit. I
Right.
don't know. I really don't know. But I will say this, that because the case is unfolding the way it's unfolding, it is definitely going to be hard to solve this unless they can figure out who the woman was that he was talking to.
Yeah, the mystery girl.
Yeah, the Mr. Girl has a big play in this. That I can pretty much assure you, one way or the other. Either she was helping somebody get him out of the house, or she literally knows who he is and know who was after him. Some,
Right.
there's a lot of dynamics there that if they can just find who she is, they could probably answer a lot of the unknown questions that even we have today. You know, April,
Yeah.
Tabitha, so sad. Tabitha, Norma, super sad. Pam, Tabitha, it is awful. Okay, what happened, Tabitha? I don't see anything. The remains of 3 children were found in my city near this year. No word since LE. Interesting. What were do you happen to know the 3 children's last names or their first and last names?
Was that the suitcase one?
I'm sorry?
I think that might have been the suitcase kid. There was 3 kids found in us. They were found in like suitcases or something.
Oh, really?
That was earlier this year. I don't remember what their names were. It might be the same case.
I'll look up suitcase kids. Suitcase kids murder.
But yeah, that mystery girl, like, is she from his past life or was she part of his good side? Because that's going to be pretty telling. It could have just been mere robbery. She could have just been trying to get him for his money. He's doing good now. He's got a job. If she was on the bad side and a drug user, she could have just been trying to get money from him. Gave him a little bit of drugs. He goes back to the store, maybe to get some money, to get some more. Bang, bang, boom. You just never know. So
that's a very good possibility. That's a very good possibility. No doubt. Tabitha, that is heartbreaking. L, I say the girl knows something, in my opinion. Probably multiple people who know. Yeah, without a doubt, L. I agree with that. Norma, yes, Tabitha, it breaks my heart. April, the father has his suspects. Just saying. Do we know who those suspects he has? April, by any chance, I know that's maybe an outside the box question, but do we know who those suspects that he has by any chance? Names? The children have not been identified. It is a Memphis case. Thank you. Appreciate that, Tabitha. Memphis case. Wow. And, that's kind of rare a lot of times because when you see 3 kids in a suitcase, 3 kids, usually people know if 3 kids are missing. That's quite a bit to go missing, Stacks, good morning, Stacks. Welcome in. Hope you had a good vacation, my friend. No, he isn't. He isn't saying to the public. Got you, April. Got you. Maybe we can try to figure this one out by trying to figure out who are those people, but it's going to be obviously probably somebody related to his past life, narcotics or whatnot would be my guess.
That's where I'm leaning too, dog. That was my mental instinct. Yeah.
That's the only thing I can think of, honestly, right now at this point. Because I can't think of who else literally would be in that pecking order, who else it could have been other than the girl had a big part to play, whether she, like I said, whether she lured him out, got him to come out, or got him to trust her, or she was with the other people. There was something nefarious, but they didn't make it sound like this girl was always there. You know what I'm saying? They make it sound like she was just in and out at times. Like she would pop in and say hi. So those are the ones you got to worry about, because the ones that just come in and say hi, pop in and say hi, there's always a reason they're popping in. You know what I mean? It could very well be to buy more of their habit that they have, or it could mean they're trying to set this individual up. One of the two. Kiki, welcome, Kiki. I'm a dreamer. Missing for 9 years and all the searches, never found anything. Just strange, right? Makes
like,
you
where's
wonder.
The rest of them, right? Where's the rest of them? They only found a couple leg bones, and they found both femurs, so they have parts of both the legs and one bottom bone. So where's the rest of them?
That is very true. Very true.
That could help solve the case too if you were to find some more of the remains.
Yeah, no doubt. Without a saying, no doubt. Very good point. That's awesome, Stacks. I'm glad you had a great vacation. Kiki Khan, morning. Pam, thank you for always supporting the channel, my friend. Appreciate you. Thank you for always helping. April, I'm sure there were updates. I'm sure there will be updates. Father has never given up, nor should he, especially if he's got people in mind. He's probably pretty close to the target, no doubt. Maybe he owed money, says L. Very possible. Norma, that is a wonderful news that Oleg DD just looked him up. Just look him up. Would like the report. Yeah, that's what I did. That's all I did was look him up to get that information. Tabitha, it is believed the kids were not from here. They were no reports, but I didn't hear of any suitcase though. Sounds good, Tabitha. Thank you. I'll try to look that up. Kiki L, I'm a dreamer, missing for 9 years. Tabitha Oleg, they weren't reported missing here. They were from somewhere else. I'm a dreamer. April, really hope something comes of this. Melly, please hit the likes, everybody, and subscribe. Tabitha, Norma, that last comment was for you. Marianne, I'm sorry, Barney, it could be possible in his area that a wood chipper may have been. That's very true too. I didn't think about that. I did not think about that. That is very true. Tabitha Oleg, my bad, laughing out loud. So that's the thing, guys. It's just the idea that the biggest witness is the girl. She's going to be the number one person of interest. So, I don't think anybody out there in Lewistown, up where they probably live. April, correct me if I'm wrong. I don't think there's a lot of cameras out there. I mean, I just don't see a lot of cameras out there. Just in my opinion, I could be wrong. So let me know if I am wrong, April. And the reason I say that is because it's out in the hills and the mountains and maybe rough terrain where these houses are at, that it's not that. People just don't look at stuff like that,
Especially in 2017.
Yeah, exactly. And then it's not like the inner city, everybody knows everybody. So that lady who came to his house has got to know something. And I don't know if the cops ever even identified her. That's the sad thing. We don't even know if they talked to her, they identified her, they even know who she is. I mean, it's with everything going on in all these cases, it always seems like it's people that, like, either law enforcement's not doing what they need to do or someone's dropping the ball somewhere. Barney says, in the boonies back then, cameras weren't around. Yeah, I didn't think so, Barney. Norma, maybe it was an affair going on with Shane, and this girl just got theory of someone found out. Yeah, that's very possible. That is very possible. It could be that, like I said before, it could be the husband or the person seeing the wife that they don't talk about. Maybe he didn't like the fact that what he was doing or what he was involved in and didn't want the stepdaughter to be a part of that. It's no telling. Sheets would have had cameras, because Sheets. I remember I was down in the oil wells back then during that time in 17, and they did have cameras. So that would explain that, but apparently he never made it into the store.
That's what it tells me. He never made it to the store, or he was never actually going to the store, and he was using that as the cover.
Very possible. Yeah. Yeah.
He had plans to go somewhere else.
No doubt. Yeah, Gene, it's a really puzzling one for sure. One that we definitely want to keep tracks of. But I just wonder if they're even looking anymore. If this is a cold case, it's going to go to the bottom of the list. It's not going to stay at the top. The ones that they've been working on are going to, continue to work on, and it's just going to work its way down. That's usually how most departments do it.
Yeah, it'll just sit on someone's desk until some new evidence comes up, or somebody gets drunk at a bar and says something to somebody else, or someone dies, so somebody else feels like it's okay to talk now, or something along that line. It's usually the only way cases like that can get solved.
Right.
With such little evidence.
That's very true. That's very true. April says it is still an active investigation. Yeah, I don't know why I say cold case, because it is still an active investigation. And maybe now that they have the body, now they're going to give it its due time as to try to find out information. That makes sense. That makes sense. Now that I think about it like that, yeah, that makes sense. I just don't understand. Like, if nobody saw this girl, well, then they're never going to get an ID. Let's just be honest. If no one saw her, I have to believe someone told her to go there or to meet with him or try to get him to distract him, try to get him outside, because if maybe he knew people were watching him and he was inside the house most of the time, you know what I mean? Except when he went to work. It is possible. So if you think someone's chasing you or someone's trying to find you, you're going to stay out of sight, out of mind. So that's just another, just another thought.
I'm going to say the phone probably has them details, Doc.
Say that again?
The phone probably has them details, and that's why they're keeping it so close to the vest. I'm sure that the phone
that is true.
Can identify the girl or who he was meeting with, who he was last talking to. But where is the phone now? Like, do they have the phone? I think I missed that part. Did he leave his phone behind that night, and then they got a hold of it?
They have it because they said that they found a lot of information off the phone, and they're not going to give it back because that'd be evidence. I don't know where they found it at. If they found it in his house, on the dresser, or if they found it on by his belt and his butane lighter. I would think that they probably found it in his house. But then again, like we always say, who leaves without their phone, right?
Exactly.
So it's very possible that they found his phone where he was at, and they were able to get extract information from it. Without a doubt, the law enforcement has to have his phone because they said they got information from his phone. So either they have the phone or they were able to trace the number and get, everything that was on that phone. That's a possibility. But if they're able to get pictures, well, then he may have that girl in that picture. April says, in my opinion, he never made it to Sheets. I agree with that. April prayers, the truth will be revealed. I'm a dreamer. To think he was followed and decided to walk to the store. Is that what happened? Sorry, but I'm having trouble. Yeah, apparently he was going to the store. A girl came to his house. They left. They were going to the store. They came back. They didn't make it to the store. They came back. He told his mom that somebody's been watching them, following them. So then, whatever's said there, he then tells his dad if he needs anything from the store. And so when he doesn't go ahead and his dad apparently said no, then the son leaves and goes back to Sheets, but never makes it.
Here's another thought, Dog. Since he was a recovering addict and he was clean for so long, and he met this girl and started doing drugs, he meets back up with some friends. It is possible that he had taken too much. Maybe he ODs, they panic, they just throw him out of a car somewhere and just drive off and never say anything about it.
And that is possible. Kind of like maybe the Nolan Wells case, he ODs.
Mm-hmm.
mean, that's a possibility. Absolutely. But when I read the part that said, I'm going to read it one more time, guys. Hang on a second.
That would explain leaving the phone behind if he did leave it at the house, because he wouldn't want the parents or anybody to know where he's going or what he's doing.
Okay, I want to see this part right here. Read this real quick again. Okay. Maybe it was early. The part that I'm looking for is when it talks about they got a lot of information from the phone. And that tells me that they got leads. Either they're not hitting them hard or they're just, I don't know what they're doing. I know I read that here earlier.
Yeah, it was right. It was way in the beginning.
That's what I thought. Okay, the case was initially entered into National Missing and Unidentified Persons as DNA Doe Project to start an investigation. At work, different labs, technicians were able to extract at work. Okay, here, I must have missed this part. At work, at different labs, technicians were able to extract DNA, which eventually led to the investigation identifying the remains. So at his work, they were also able to get DNA. Yep. In April, investigations collected a DNA swab from Workman's mother. I'm sub-reading here.
Yep. So they were doing mitochondrial testing for the identification.
Yeah. Sorry, guys. I'm just trying to find this part. Here you go. Currently, there are various leads based on Workman's cell phone records. So when they say there are various leads that they obtained from Workman's from Shane's phone.
Cell phone records, though, that means that they don't have the phone. They're going off of the records obtained from the phone company.
If they're being that specific, yes, you're right. You are right. Workman's cell phone records, as well as evidence collected in the recovery of the remains. So within the remains of where they found him and his cell phone records, they got a lot of information. I would have to guess that girl is somewhere within that box, right? It would only make sense. You know what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm.
What April? What is the dad's Facebook or whoever has the Facebook?
She posted the link right here.
Okay, let me see. Oh, there it is. That's the link.
So yeah, that tells me that they never recovered the phone.
Yeah, that makes sense. That makes sense. Absolutely. All right. April, thank you. Thank you all, indeed, for covering the case. Absolutely. We're going to stay on this because we just don't know, the way it sounds to me, April, is that they are and they do have good, solid information So now it's, can they just not find the girl? Is that the main problem? Is that the hiccup?
Or it's just all circumstantial, and
True.
they can't pin anything on anybody.
That's very true. Kiki, it's a small town. I live here, and no national coverage, so not very publicized. See, and that's the problem. Those are the cases we have to get out, everybody. No doubt about it. No doubt about it. Norma, April, I strongly don't believe drugs was involved because was trying to get his life back for his daughter. I still think it was a jealous situation, just my thought. It's very possible, Norma. It's a good point. So now I guess the only thing is we keep looking that up for updates and see if there is, but God, it should be nice, like the other live, to talk to somebody, about this case who's over there and following this. You know what I mean? It'd be nice to have that conversation, like we did with Pebbles.
Yeah, that would be great if you had an insider.
But my guess is the dad is taking this as an, I'm going to handle it my way. That's why he doesn't want to give anything out.
Yeah, I don't think who did this is foul play would think his body would be found.
Yeah, I don't know how the head is not there, the skull.
I think it's the total opposite, because they only found parts of the body. Tells me that there's almost indefinitely foul play, whether his body was in the shallow grave and parts of it were ripped apart and taken to a different location by animals, and they just never found the rest of them, or they did something to the body and spread it apart in different areas, or because of what they found tells me that there's almost more than likely not foul play involved.
Right.
But that's just me.
No, that's a good point. April says, I don't think who did this is foul play. Would think his body would be found, right? Oh man, I tell you, these cases are little juggernauts trying to get some of these, and I've looked everywhere on this case to see what I could find. There is a thing here. Let me play this. I want to play this for y'all. There is a, let's see this. Yeah, I want to see this. Here we go. This is the young man, 31-year-old Shane Workman. All right.
Here, on mute.
All right. Here it is, everybody. Go back here.
It's a drug addict. Everybody goes back to that. That was a comment that Mike Hewitt made on a Facebook post about his missing son, Shane Workman. Not only does Mike have to deal with the constant pain of having a missing son, but he does this while believing that no one cares. Mike is not alone. Many family members of missing people who don't fit the mold of the perfect victim experience the exact same thing. But Shane and all missing people deserve to be found. On April 25th, 2010, at around 10 p.m., 31-year-old Shane Workman told his dad he was going to run to Sheetz, a gas station near their home in Lewistown, Pennsylvania. But Shane never made it there. Mike and his partner, Cindy Workman, didn't realize anything was wrong and went on a camping trip the next morning. It wouldn't be until they returned that they realized their son had never come home after his quick trip to the gas station. A search party was formed immediately, but despite many tips, including the names of people who may have been involved in Shane's disappearance, Mike says that Lewistown police quickly lost interest. After 7 years, Shane is still missing, but his family is still fighting for Shane and for justice. When a person goes missing, there's a special kind of pain in the not knowing. I want to tell you the stories of those who never came home. Today, I want to tell you the story of Shane Workman. I'm Kona Gallagher.
And I'm Ethan Flick.
And this is And Then They Were Gone. nonprofit organization that provides search and recovery services to families of missing persons and to law enforcement. They've been helping out with Shane's case and asked if we could feature it on our show.
Oh, that's so cool.
Yeah. So, of course, I said yes. But as you probably gathered from the intro, there isn't a ton of media coverage out there.
It doesn't sound like it.
No. But Shane is very clearly loved and missed. So I absolutely want to help get his story out there. Before we get started, though, we've had a new member join us over on Patreon. So we want to give a shout out to Serena W. Thank you so much for your support.
Thank you so
Click
much.
that like, everybody.
Remember,
Do
if
me
you join
that
us there
favor.
on
Click
any
that
level,
like.
starting at just $2 a month, you can get these
Let's get
episodes
this channel
ad-free,
going. Hit the live
and you also
stream,
get a
share
free
it.
copy of the ebook that I wrote. So with that out of the way, let's get into the story of Shane Workman. Shane Allen Workman was born on December 19th, 1985 to Mike Hewitt and Cindy Workman. Though it doesn't seem as though the pair ever married, they've been together since 1982. Shane grew up in Lewistown, Pennsylvania, a small borough in Mifflin County located along the Juniata River about 60 miles northwest of Harrisburg.
That's close to State College.
Yeah, so State College actually does come up a couple times in this episode. So I kind of gathered that it seems like that was a place that a lot of people would go.
And for those that don't know, State College is where Penn State is, where I went to college.
Yeah. It was clear early on that Shane wasn't going to live a super conventional life. When he was around 17, Shane and his girlfriend Alicia became parents. Though the couple didn't stay together, Alicia calls Shane her first love, and he was deeply devoted to their daughter, Alexis. As the years went on, Shane started getting involved with drugs. He also had several run-ins with the law, including harassment, aggravated assault, and a DUI. But in 2017, when this is all happening, Shane was 31 and was trying to turn over a new leaf. He was out of jail and he had a good job. But his father, Mike, did say that Shane still dabbled in drugs. And that was how he put it.
Okay.
There's only been one real news story that I could find that covered anything but the basics of.
So there you go, too. You have the dad saying that he still dabbled into that in the drug scene. He still dabbled into it. So it's so hard once you're in that kind of lifestyle just to drop it or get out of it cold turkey. You know what I'm saying? It's so hard. But nevertheless, that was a good point. And now you know that this dad and mom, they're not trying to like hide anything, keep anything secret. They're coming out and saying, yeah. Even the dad is saying, yeah. I mean, he still dabbled in it. Wasn't as bad, but he still was involved around it. So that means he's still around those players that were providing all this substance. You know what I mean? That would be my take. But let's go back to hearing this. There is a name. There is the name of their daughter. Yeah, I wrote that down. Alicia. At least, no, that was the mother's. Oh, God. I got to go back and get that. April, mom's name. That was mom's name. Alicia. And Alex. Or Alexis.
Wasn't Christina the mom and Alicia was Alexis's mom?
Okay, hang on a second. I'm going to go ahead and play that back, okay? Just a little bit.
60 miles northwest of Harrisburg.
That's close to State College.
Yeah, so State College actually does come up a couple times in this episode. So I kind of gathered that it seems like that was a place that a lot of people would go.
And for those that don't know, State College is where Penn State is, where I went to college.
Yeah. It was clear early on that Shane wasn't going to live a super conventional life. When he was around 17, Shane and his girlfriend Alicia became parents. Though the couple didn't stay together, Alicia calls Shane her first love, and he was deeply devoted to their daughter, Alexis. As the years went on, Shane started getting involved with drugs. He also had several run-ins with the law, including harassment, aggravated assault, and a DUI. But in 2017, when this is all happening, Shane was 31 and was trying to turn over a new leaf. He was out of jail and he had a good job. But his father, Mike, did say that Shane still dabbled in drugs. And that was how he put it.
Okay.
There's only been one real news story that I could find that covered anything but the basics of when he was last seen. It was done by Fox 43. In this interview, Shane's parents recalled the last night that they saw him. So Shane was single at this point, and he was known as a bit of a ladies' man and apparently frequently had women. So he was living with his parents and, he would have like women kind of coming in and out a lot. And on the night of April 25th, 2017, he was with a woman who has been identified as Kelly P. Now, and I don't know if he dated her or anything like that, but, they were just hanging out that night. So he and Kelly were over at his parents' house where, like I said, Shane was living. They spent time upstairs in Shane's room before leaving the house. But Shane returned a short time later and told his dad that someone had been following them down the alley. He didn't seem too freaked out about this, though. And a few minutes later, he told Mike that he was running to Sheetz to get something to eat and asked him if he wanted anything. Mike said no, and Shane walked out the door. He never returned.
So what's the distance between this Sheetz
and their house? Like a block and a half.
So he walked.
Yeah. So he had, like I mentioned, a DUI, and I think his license was suspended at the time.
Okay.
So I don't think he was driving in general, but it was like a block and a half away. So he probably wouldn't have driven regardless. And
you mentioned an alley.
Yeah.
So I'm assuming he lived in downtown Lewiston.
I guess.
Yeah. I mean, if there's an alley, one would assume it's in town.
Right.
I mean,
they did.
I'm assuming Lewiston is not a very large town.
It's not. It's very small. And like I said, it's a borough. It's it has like 6,000 people.
Honestly, I've probably been there. I just don't remember specifically going there.
Again, he's not in a bustling city or anything like that, but he's not out in the woods either. Like he lives a block and a half from a Sheetz.
Right. Yeah. And that's more of where I was going. Is like, what was in between? How far away was it? Wooded area? That sort of thing. Right.
No, nothing like that. Nothing where he could have like wandered off and gotten lost or anything
fallen
like
in
that.
a river or something like that.
Right.
Yeah.
He would have really had to like try.
Now, how do we know that he didn't actually ever make it to Sheetz?
Oh, well, I'm going to get to that.
Okay.
So Shane was 31, like I mentioned. And so his parents weren't waiting up for him or anything like that. And it was already 10:30 when he went to Sheetz. So I'm guessing that like they just went to bed,
And at some point, the woman he was with left, or did she already left?
She had already left.
Okay.
So I think when he came back alone.
Okay.
And then that's when he told his dad he was going to run to Sheetz. So Kelly,
Gotcha.
She was already out of the picture, apparently, So so like I said, I'm sure Shane's parents were getting ready to go to bed, and they weren't going to like wait up for him or whatever. And so they just didn't realize that he didn't come home.
Right.
Yeah. So the next morning, Shane's parents either thought that, he was in his room sleeping, or they expected him to be home shortly because he had a dog that he took care of.
Right. But either way, he wasn't going on the camping trip.
No. So that was like never the plan.
Yeah.
They were leaving on their camping trip. I'm assuming they left relatively early.
Mm-hmm.
So I think they weren't necessarily expecting to see him that morning.
Yeah. That makes sense.
Yeah. But even if Shane had stayed out the night before, like they knew he was going to come back to take care of his dog. So like it didn't matter to them at the time.
Right. He's an adult.
Yeah.
Just because he's living with his parents doesn't mean that he's like a child that needs to come home at a certain hour.
Exactly.
Whatever.
Yeah. He definitely didn't have a curfew.
Yeah.
So Mike and Cindy had this camping trip planned. So they left on the morning of Wednesday, April 26th with no idea that anything was wrong. They didn't find out that anything was amiss until Sunday afternoon when they received a call from their neighbor. The neighbor said that they hadn't seen Shane's dog outside at all, which was weird.
And so they got a call on Sunday. So this is 5 days
later.
Wow.
So the neighbor knew that Mike and Cindy were gone, but they knew that Shane, I guess wasn't going with them. So they had expected to see Shane, see the dog, whatever. And they just hadn't seen anything. So fortunately, the neighbor had a key. And so the neighbor was able to get into the house and I assume take care of the dog.
Yeah, I hope the dog was okay.
I mean, it seems like nobody mentioned anything. So we're just going to assume that the dog was doing great.
Okay.
Shane's parents tried to call their son, but received no response. They left messages, but they went unanswered. At that point, they started calling around to Shane's friends. They ended up reaching one of his ex-girlfriends who went to the home. So she ended up going up to Shane's room and was confronted with a completely normal scene. Nothing was amiss or seemed to be missing. Shane's house keys were on his bed. He didn't take them because his parents were home,
right?
And he's expecting to come back. So his house keys were there, but, it also didn't look like anyone had been there in a while.
Mm.
Mike and Cindy returned the next day, Monday, May 1st. The ex-girlfriend who was there, checking on everything, didn't move anything. So Mike says that when he went up to Shane's room, quote, his house key was laying in the center of his bed. Bed wasn't slept in or nothing, end quote. Lewistown Police is a small agency, but at first it seems as though they were helpful. The Shane Workman Search Party Facebook group was formed 2 days later on May 3rd, and on May 4th, Mike posted that Lewistown Police were coordinating with the fire department to get boats to check the Juniata River. Unfortunately, they had recently had a lot of rain, so ultimately the water was too high and they couldn't get the boats in. They continued to monitor the situation, and in the meantime, Shane's friends and family got to work distributing flyers and organizing search parties of their own. Police were eventually able to review the security footage from the sheets.
Okay.
Yeah. Where Shane was supposed to go on the night of the 25th, but he never appeared in any of the footage. There were initial reports that Shane had spoken to somebody by phone the next day on the 26th, but that was later determined to have been a mistake. The person actually spoke to Shane on the morning of the 25th prior to his disappearance.
Okay.
On May 10th, police and fire departments were finally able to take out boats and search the river. They did a sweep from the boat launch off of River Access Road to the fishing access point at the Juniata County line and back, but no trace of Shane was found. As the weeks went on without word from Shane, people, of course, began to develop theories, and the rumor mill started churning. So remember how I said earlier that Shane was still dabbling in drugs?
Yeah.
Unsurprisingly, it started to look as though his disappearance could have been somehow drug-related. On May 12th, about 3 weeks after Shane was last seen, his father posted in the Facebook group that the police told him that they had information that someone took Shane to Harrisburg and took off without him.
That's interesting.
Yeah.
So I'm assuming the police have his cell phone records at this point.
I think so. What I do know is that it was a prepaid cell phone.
Oh.
So I don't know how that.
Yeah, I don't know how that
affects,
works either.
Yeah. So I don't know what they were and weren't able to get.
Yeah, I can't speak on that. I don't have any training in cell phone forensics or anything like that. So
yeah, so I'm not sure how useful that was, if at all.
Yeah.
Mike hears from the police that they received a tip that, these people took Shane to Harrisburg and left him there, basically. So, the police didn't name any names, so Mike couldn't follow up on his own other than going to Harrisburg and taking to the streets there. Now, this theory that Shane was picked up by some people and, kind of left in Harrisburg seemed to kind of be backed up by a friend who said that she had heard that Shane owed a lot of money to the wrong people.
Assuming in Harrisburg?
Yeah, or, people who had business there.
Okay.
Mike also had someone come out with a bloodhound to track Shane's scent. So Mike did this himself. He literally just found somebody who had a bloodhound.
Do you think that's because of lack of resources from Lewistown PD, or do you think that, I have to imagine at a certain point, Lewistown PD would contact the state police
Oh, we'll get into all that later. At a
Okay.
certain point, they did.
Okay.
But yeah, initially, I think they were kind of helping. Like I said, they did coordinate to do the search of the
searches,
river,
right?
but this wasn't something that they were putting a ton of resources into.
Got it.
And it is a small department as well. So you're right. I mean, they don't have a ton of resources to put into it,
Right.
but it just wasn't their top priority either. Yeah, so Mike found this guy with the bloodhound, and the bloodhound was apparently able to track Shane's scent. And the dog tracked him about a block and a half from his house. So I think near the sheets, but not quite there before he lost the scent, indicating that Shane probably got into a car.
Right.
You know, this is all from like the Facebook group that Mike started. So as many people were pointing out in the comments, if someone had just like left Shane in Harrisburg, certainly he would have been able to have made it to a phone by then.
Yeah, exactly.
You know, because this
mean,
is like 2 weeks after his disappearance at this point.
Yeah, and even if it was a burner phone, he still had a cell phone.
Yeah, well, I mean, but if they took it, like, you know what I mean? Like, even if they left him with like literally nothing,
right?
Like he could have figured something out in 2 weeks, you know?
Yeah.
But if that story was true, the only reason why he couldn't have is if he physically couldn't.
Right.
Many people did speculate, though, that the reason he hadn't gotten in touch is because he was hiding out from these people that he owed money to. But as the weeks turned into months, that scenario seemed less and less likely. By late June, Mike said that the Lewistown police had stopped contacting him. So this is about 2 months into Shane's disappearance. As the summer progressed, several different rumors popped up about Shane being safe. Some said that he was safe and sound, but in hiding. Someone else said that he had contacted his dad, but none of those rumors turned out to be true at all. By August, no actual trace of Shane had been found, and Mike seemed to switch from thinking he was out there, possibly hiding, to he was out there and no longer alive. On August 16th, he posted in part, quote, "It's going to be fall before long, and the leaves will fall and cover him up. We all need to get up the side of that mountain and find him," end quote.
So it sounds like Mike is thinking that there's a targeted area where Shane might be found.
Yeah, because he was getting all of these people telling him all sorts of crazy stuff.
Okay.
He was getting tips, and people like wouldn't get their names. They, you know, wouldn't call him back. They'd like block their number.
Hi, Holly.
I mean, wild
Welcome
things.
in.
And this seemed to be happening a lot. And so in mid-October, Mike got a tip that seemed like it would finally lead him to Shane. On October 16th, Mike Hewitt posted that he received an anonymous tip regarding his son's location. He put out a call asking for people with boots and chainsaws to go to an area with shallow water and clear it out. It sounded as though he believed Shane was in a body of water with trees around and like fallen wood on top of him, basically.
Okay.
Many of the comments urged Mike not to go in immediately and wait for the police to come check it out with the proper equipment. He agreed, but said that the police weren't really getting back to him anymore, which, I mean, had already become a problem. Thankfully, however, they seemed to take this tip seriously and came the next day to take a report. They also said that they were turning Shane's case over to the state police.
There we go.
Which made Mike and the rest of Shane's family hopeful that there'd be more movement in the investigation. And this is weird to me. It's really difficult because I'm piecing this all together through Facebook because the news was not covering this.
Yeah.
So there were no news articles that I could go to for like clear information.
Or
welcome in, Ocean Waves. Welcome in.
Yeah.
And so what it sounds like, though, is the police, you know, they came out and took the report on this tip, you know, of like Shane's location, but they didn't search themselves.
Oh, that's interesting.
Yeah.
So they took the report and said, "We're turning this over to the state police.
Yeah.
We're
like
washing
good
our
luck.
hands of it." Yeah.
Yeah. But they did assist Mike and volunteers in getting like the proper permission to do the search themselves.
That's interesting.
Yeah. Because it was like, I guess, in like a public waterway, or, you know, and it was, I know it was near a bridge. And so like there are issues there. And so whatever it is, they helped them get the permission to go down there and basically start like chopping trees down and things like that.
It just seems weird that they would go to that extent of helping him to get the permission, but not helping him on the search.
I know.
And like, it's not, it sounds like he already organized all of the equipment that they would need. So like, why wouldn't you just send a couple of cops up there with them?
I don't know, but it doesn't sound like they did. So Mike and, a few volunteers spent about a week clearing out logs and other debris. And I mean, they went back like day after day. And, and that's why it doesn't sound like the cops are helping them, because Mike was like, okay, like I need somebody who has a chainsaw. Like I need somebody who has this, that, and the other. Let's meet in the Walmart parking lot and go down there. So after days of backbreaking work, they found no sign of Shane. After that disappointment, Mike continued to receive tips about his son, but none panned out. He later told Fox 43 that he was happy with the state police's work on the case, but that in January 2018, Lewistown asked for the case back.
That's strange.
Yeah.
Why?
I have no idea. And I don't think Mike knew either. And they didn't take it back to do anything with it, because after that, it seems as though any forward progress just stopped.
That's really strange to me. I mean, you would think that if this was somehow linked to another case, that would make sense of them asking for the case back.
Oh.
If Shane was somehow involved in...
So taking a case back is very unusual, especially when you're not really doing anything with it. All right. So it could mean several things, or it could maybe someone who is related as someone who's within the system. There, maybe certain people are being protected. You never know. Protected, like not in a good way, but so they're not exposed to what happened. You got to look at all the different scenarios. So it could be a lot of things that are going on why they went ahead and did this. Just wanted to give you that tidbit.
Some other case, or he was related somehow.
Oh,
that would make sense if they asked for the case back. But it just seems odd to me that they would just randomly ask for it back,
just to do nothing.
Yes.
Yeah.
For it to go nowhere.
Yeah, that's a good point. And I mean, it could have been something like that. But again, I have no idea. And Mike didn't know. By the 1-year anniversary, morale was pretty low. Mike felt as though police didn't care about his son and that he was alone in this horrible situation. The news wasn't picking the story up, and Shane's family just couldn't get traction anywhere.
I don't understand why they wouldn't.
But
at the very least do that.
We've run into this before. I mean, we did a 3-part episode on Ralph Jean Marie in Vermont, in Barrie, Vermont, and police, same thing. He was involved with drugs. He went missing from a low budget motel.
Yeah.
And police didn't canvass the area. They didn't pull any of the surveillance footage from any of the businesses nearby. I mean, I guess that's just happens in these cases sometimes.
Yeah, I mean, like I can kind of see the whole like, okay, we're a small department. This guy's an adult. He'll come back on his own mentality.
Right, which they definitely had.
Sure, except for the fact that he had already been missing for 5 days before they even picked up the case.
Right.
That it's not like it was the same day or a couple of hours.
Yeah.
Where it's like, meh, he'll come back. It's 5 days that he's missing already.
Yeah.
From the start.
And he left his house key. He left his dog. Like
right.
He, left all of his belongings.
And they had to go to the sheets to physically get the footage from the cameras. So why didn't they just walk the block and a half in between the houses and
knock on a few doors?
Yes.
Yeah, no, I know.
Wild.
So when Shane disappeared, his Facebook account went dormant, obviously. No one else had any access to it, so they couldn't go in and see if there were any messages that could potentially yield any clues. Then, in January 2019, everyone on Shane's friends list was shocked when a video was posted to his page.
Oh.
Now, this video wasn't of Shane or anything like that. Like, I think it was just a random internet video. I was never able to see the actual video. I only saw a screenshot of it.
Okay.
While some wondered if it was Shane's way of saying that he was out there and alive, others wondered if someone who was involved in his disappearance had been able to access his account.
So it was posted under Shane. It's not like somebody tagged him in
No, it was posted on his account.
Oh, wow.
Yeah.
That's creepy.
Right. It scared the shit out of everyone, you know? A Facebook user purporting to be a police officer involved with Shane's case got on the Shane Workman search party group and basically said that there wasn't anything that the police could do about it. And I say purporting to be because his Facebook account, like many people in law enforcement, like don't have his actual information on it, you know?
Yeah.
So either he's
So
just some like weirdo or he's
a troll.
Yeah. Or he's like an actual cop who just doesn't put a lot of identifying information on his Facebook account.
Mm-hmm.
Either way, so this person got on there and said, you know, they just really couldn't do anything. He said they, of course, needed a warrant in order for Facebook to release any information about the post, including like the IP address from which it came.
Mm-hmm.
But since Shane was an adult, he was still just considered to be a missing person who potentially didn't want to be found.
Right.
There was no crime associated with this case.
Right.
So no basis for a warrant.
I mean, it's unfortunate, but that's reality.
And that's why I kind of do believe that this guy's who he said he was, because like, yeah, that makes sense.
Yeah.
Then in 2023, 6 years after Shane's disappearance, something else funky happened with his Facebook page. Mike and others had been sending Shane messages over the years, just, you know, as a way of having a one-sided conversation with him.
Mm-hmm.
But one day, those messages started popping up as read.
Oh.
Mike contacted the police, and it was eventually determined that someone named Tim had gotten Shane's old phone number, the same one that Shane had used to set up his own Facebook account. When Tim tried to log on to his account, he had a code sent to his phone, but instead of logging him into his account, it logged him into Shane's, which was also associated with that phone number. Now, listen, I can see your face. And when I read that, I was like, that's not how that works at all. Like, that's insane.
Yeah, I was thinking that that's not accurate.
Right. But I looked it up. And apparently, this has happened to a lot of people with recycled phone numbers. Like, I actually linked an article to it because it just happened to some like random guy. And basically, he hadn't logged into his own Facebook account in like a couple of years or whatever, so he couldn't remember his password.
Welcome in, Fin Fan.
So
welcome in.
He went, and this is from the article, not this Tim guy.
Mm-hmm.
So one of the password recovery options is to have a code sent to your phone. So he put his phone number in, they sent him the code, and it logged him into a complete stranger's account. He said like everything was in Spanish, like he had no idea what was happening.
That's weird.
Yeah.
Huh.
So, okay, so I read that and I was like, okay, so I guess this is kind of legit, but it got weirder because like it seemed like there was more going on there because Mike was able to get in touch with this Tim guy, which is how we know his name is Tim. And he asked him to go through Shane's messages to see if he found anything. And he was like, hey, you have access to this account.
Right.
Can you like change the password? Give me the password so that I can access it.
Yeah.
Which if this is some random recycled phone number issue, like I read about in that article, it would seem like an amazing stroke of luck, right?
Yeah. Right.
That like, holy shit, you can get into his account. Somebody can help you. And, you know, I think anybody who is in that situation on the other end and they hear like, this random account you're in is of a missing person that we haven't been able to access. This is like 6 years later.
Yeah.
You know, anybody would be like, yeah, let me change the password. I'll give it to you. Anything I can do to help.
You would also think that maybe the police would want to contact him and do the same thing.
Sure. But that's not what happened. According to Mike, Tim initially agreed to like do that to help him out, but then changed his mind. And at first I saw that. And again, because I'm piecing all this together from the Facebook group.
Mhm.
So I saw that. I was like, okay, well, maybe he like didn't have access to it anymore. Like maybe he like logged in once accidentally
And then
like got out and
Yeah.
like couldn't get back in, or, you know, whatever it was. Right.
Mhm.
But then
Click that like,
other
everybody.
people
Click that like.
started reporting that
Share the
this Tim
stream.
guy, or like whoever it was who had access to Shane's account, started replying to their Facebook messages to Shane.
What?
Yeah, like and they posted screenshots. And so they'd like send messages to Shane's account being like, "Hey, like this is, you know, my friend Shane who's been missing for 6 years. We really want to get into his account or whatever." And they would get a
Thank
reply
you,
back
Fan,
telling
for
them
always
to
supporting
quit
the channel,
and
my
that
friend.
he
Thank
wasn't
you.
Shane, he just had his phone number. And people are like, "Okay, well, we're not texting you. Like
Right.
we're Facebook messaging you, and you are on his Facebook account messaging us back. Like this isn't we're texting the wrong phone number."
Right. That's so weird.
And like I said, I saw screenshots where this dude, whoever is in Shane's account, was like threatening to call the police.
Call the police.
That's what they said. They're like, "Okay, good. Please do.
Yeah.
We will also call the police.
Right.
And hopefully we can get this figured out." But what's wild is that it doesn't appear that anything ever came of this. Like, it doesn't seem like the police ever got involved one way or another. It doesn't seem like they ever got access to Shane's Facebook page. Eventually, people just stopped posting about this. And I have no idea what happened.
What the hell? I mean, that is
And
so
this is just
crazy.
a year ago. This is 6 years
Yeah.
after Shane disappeared that all this is happening.
That is crazy.
Yeah, and this
You're
guy
very welcome, Fan.
is
Thank you so
responding to
much.
messages
Appreciate it. It was my
on
honor, my
a
friend.
Facebook account that is not his,
Right.
saying, "Leave me alone, stop harassing me."
I mean, how about you just turn over that information and then log out of the account?
Yeah, like
It isn't yours.
it was the most bizarre thing. As Shane's friends and family marked 7 years without him in 2024, their anger seemed to grow. And this is when they started speaking publicly about Kelly P., the woman who Shane was allegedly with that night.
Okay.
And at one point, I did find out like her actual full name, but I'm not going to
Thank you,
put it
Jane.
out there
Appreciate
because,
that.
again, this is just all Facebook stuff.
Right.
Like none of this has been vetted.
Right.
So I'm not going to dox some like random person. As the years passed, Shane's friends and family seemed to be more and more convinced that not only did this person have information about what happened on the night of April 25th, 2017, but that she may have set Shane up. Mike talked about this in his interview with Fox 43, saying, quote, "She's in jail now. That girl knows something. I know she does, but you can't force it. She can sit on that story for the rest of her life. I don't know how she can sleep. I know I can't sleep at night," end quote. There are also rumors that Kelly had been talking about what happened to Shane while she was in jail and even bragging about it. But a woman named Jessica, who claimed to have been in jail with Kelly back in 2020, said that Kelly always swore she had nothing to do with Shane's disappearance. Shane's mom, Cindy, didn't come out and accuse Kelly, but does believe that her son is the victim of a crime and that the perpetrator was someone he knew.
I mean, most likely,
Yeah.
if they didn't find anything in the alley or the block and a half between the house and Sheets, you would assume that he got into
That's
a car
so true,
willingly.
April. So
Right.
true.
Because that's the thing, like Shane was like, you know, a big guy. He knew how to take care of himself. Could he have been like grabbed and put into a car? Sure. But, you know, he would have put up a fight.
Mhm.
So you're right. I think the more likely scenario is that he did get into a car willingly. And that's basically what Cindy said. She said, quote, "He wouldn't get into a vehicle with someone he didn't know. And he was a pretty strong kid. Whoever did
Susie
whatever
Sunshine,
to Shane,
welcome in. Welcome
I
in,
don't want
Susie.
to know how he
Good
died
to have
or
you.
if
Click
he's
that likes,
dead.
everybody.
But I know some people
that
in this
likes.
town
Let's
know
get that
something,
algorithm
and
going.
they ain't talking," end quote. And unfortunately, that's what this case seemingly comes down to. People aren't talking. This case doesn't strike me as particularly mysterious.
No, not at all. It seems pretty straightforward to me that he got into a car
Yeah.
and
And then something bad happened.
Yeah. And his body is out there somewhere.
Right.
And the people involved are not talking.
Exactly. And the people who know things aren't talking. Because I'm sure, because I do, like, this is the type of crime that I feel people who were involved probably did tell other people about.
Oh, for sure.
You know?
Yeah.
I mean, my personal belief is that Shane's parents are right. His disappearance is likely drug related. And if that's the case, he probably did owe the wrong people money. I mean,
That's what I'm
if, you know,
thinking.
somebody's going through all this trouble to harm him,
Spot on. That's my
they're not
guess.
doing it for no reason.
Right.
But regardless of the circumstances around his disappearance and the possible motive behind it, it doesn't make Shane a bad person. And it certainly doesn't make him unworthy of being found.
Exactly.
I went through 7 years of anguished Facebook posts from Shane's father and other people who love him. I can say with absolute certainty that Shane is deeply loved and deeply
Amen,
missed.
Al. I agree.
It's also obvious to me that the combination of Shane's family not having the resources to hire PIs and hold
Well
press
said, Gene.
conferences
Well said.
and do all of those things that you see in a lot of these missing persons cases means that they couldn't force the police to actually take this case seriously. And there's also the stigma surrounding drug users. And like, I think those two things combined, like the fact that his parents didn't have resources and the stigma around drug users, are the reasons why this case hasn't been solved.
Yeah. And you also have to think he's known to the Lewiston PD.
Yeah, for sure.
Not to ever say that, you know, police officers would be like, oh, well, one less person I have to worry about, that kind of thing. But it kind of feels that way. Like, okay, this guy was a troublemaker. He was involved in drugs. We knew him. He spent time in jail. He's kind of out of our hair.
Yeah.
We're not going to put a whole lot of resources to this.
Yeah.
That's what it sounds like.
Right. Even if they do believe that something nefarious happened, I think there's also the possibility that a lot of cops genuinely think he just took off too.
Yeah, it seems unlikely, but that is also a real possibility.
So somebody did post, like, because that was a big theory, especially early on, that he was just in hiding. And one of his friends was like, no, because he actually had kind of done that before. Apparently,
yeah?
He had like taken off. And she was like, yeah, but he came to my house and didn't stay out of touch with certain people. Like the
Right.
people he could trust, he
Yeah.
got in touch with
Yeah.
during that time. So like it was a very different situation from whatever happened on April 25th, 2017. Lewistown is a small borough. It's the type of place where people know each other and they know each other's secrets. I fully believe that there are multiple people out there walking among Shane's heartbroken family who have the ability to answer their questions. They just need to be brave enough. As Cindy told Fox 43, quote, you start thinking about it and you cry. You don't want to think about it because it hurts too much. I pray every night for him. And then there's moments where I just break down, end quote.
Well, there you have it. That was actually really interesting. A lot more insight there. Post a link for Doug. There you go. Yeah, everything. I mean, it was very interesting, everybody. That's very, very interesting.
All right, dog is
Sorry
back.
about that.
That's all right. We were listening anyways. That was very interesting.
Yeah.
Few extra clues in there. One in particular that stood out to me, dog.
Mm-hmm. Let's hear it.
That was the fact that they said he had been arrested for aggravated assault.
Yep.
Which means that he hurt somebody pretty bad at one
Yep.
point, which could lead to revenge.
Yep.
So I'm curious as to who that person was and if that person had any connection to Kelly.
That's a very good possibility.
I know
Very good.
if I was law enforcement, that's where I'd be starting.
Yep. Yeah, because Kelly P is the one that's going to be the key in this, I think.
Mm-hmm. It leads to motive.
Sure does.
It's not just a regular assault. That's aggravated assault. That means that there was a weapon involved and he hurt somebody with serious bodily injury.
That is correct. There was a lot of little. There's a lot of little good things in there.
Yeah, the weirdness with the Facebook account and all that.
Yeah. Yeah, I found that to be very telling because, like you said, if you're going ahead and you're aggravated assault charged with that, that means you're using some type of weapon of some sort, or you beat the person really superly bad. I mean superly bad. Like could have even been an old person. You know what I mean? Could have been somebody. They would call an assault on a person with mental health issues. They would call that an aggravated assault because they can't defend themselves. So it just really depends. But I agree, and it could have been. Maybe it was during the time when he was trying to find money to buy drugs. You know what I'm saying? He could have assaulted somebody and hurt them really bad just for whatever they had in their possession as far as money goes. That would speak volume.
Mm-hmm. I just feel that the identity of whoever that was is going to be the biggest lead in this case.
Oh, I agree. I totally agree. I mean, this has actually turned out to be a really interesting case.
Mm-hmm.
If we could just find out who this Kelly P is. Kelly P.
April's local. She can FOIA all that information. I'm sure it wouldn't be super difficult to see how many Kelly P's were arrested and put in the system. And also the assault, I'm sure that's public record, so you could find the name of the person that he assaulted.
Let me go ahead and look that up real quick. While handcuffed using flashlights and put him in ICU. Yeah, that's what he did.
That was Nanos.
Yeah, that's what he did. That's what Nanos. That's exactly
Everybody forgets, though, that Nanos did that to somebody that had just committed a robbery and brought the police on a high-speed chase and crashed his car. It's not like he just did it to some random dude that was in handcuffs.
Yeah.
So, not that it's right, but the nuance of the whole story just paints it in a different picture. Sure. And only telling half the story isn't right, in my opinion. You need to tell the whole story.
Right. Well, and that's what a lot of people don't understand in law enforcement. And I get it. You want to be professional. You want to stay as professional as you can because the eyes are always on you, right? The eyes are always on you. Army vet, welcome in, Army vet. I think the problem is that what people forget is sometimes, when you're on and I'll speak it from experience. When you're on high speed chase going, 115, 120 miles an hour, or you are literally, you're in a fight for your dear life, and the idea that after you get control, there's not going to be an extra thump or two, or there's, after you catch the bad guy that just really put your life at danger, that you're not going to, take like what's happened here is what people forget is that your adrenaline is flowing so high, so fast. In other words, you are so hyper vigilant. You are so hyped up because of the situation. Your 0 to 100 just got there. And then when the thing comes to an end, people expect that you're your whole body, everything that's building up inside is supposed to come down to zero, right? And you're supposed to think calmly and clearly. And that's not very easy to do. Not anybody can do that, because you're so pumped up because of the rush that you just had. Now, I'm not making an excuse that that's why you go ahead and beat up somebody, but it is difficult. And you do have to look at the totality of what the incident is all about, because you can go from one stage to the highest stage and then expecting someone to literally just come all the way back down. That's not logical. It just doesn't happen. And so sometimes that's where officers get caught up in the extra beating here, the extra beating there, is because they're so pumped up that it's like, it just feels like a simple, okay, just arrest them and you're supposed to be just fine. Dude, you almost cost me my life.
Could have killed somebody.
You could have killed somebody. You could
I'm
have
not
killed
defending
me.
him. I just believe in telling the
No,
whole story.
I agree. I totally agree. And I think a lot of people miss that. And like I said, I know a lot of people think, that you're a professional, all this, and that's all fine and good, but easier said than done, I guess is what I'm saying. It's easier said than done.
Exactly.
Without a doubt. But this has been a really good case. I really, truly like this. I just wish we had somebody we could talk to on the inside and get their take, What's going on, Josiah? Good morning. Good morning, Devil Dog. Got another Army vet in there. Got Army vet and you got Josiah. Thank you both for your service.
What's up, Army vet, my man? Good to see you, friend.
Damn, police got to be trained to contain themselves. That's what they are trained for. I know, Jim. Easier said than done, my friend. Easier said than done. I agree with you. But you know what? You can't to turn off the adrenaline that's going in your body. It's not sometimes that simple. Not excusing it. Not excusing, unnecessary force or use of force. Not excusing it. I'm just saying it's not easy to do that. It really isn't. But I get your point. Josiah, Norma, good morning, Josiah. April, I would, DD, but don't know no, you're fine, April. You're fine. No worries. No worries. No worries. Right now, they're going through so much right now. It wouldn't even be the time or place, to be honest. Airborne Doug. Pam, hey, Josiah, Melly, Army vet, the man. So yeah, this has been a good case, very good case, very interesting case. I'm glad I was able to get that video because that opened up some eyes on a lot of things as well.
Absolutely.
It opened a lot of eyes, and man, some of the things sometimes I'm wondering, like, man, where did they get this information? But these crime storytellers, man, they do get a lot of information. It's almost like that. The podcast is out there with the crime junkies, where Brianna Whitley worked for. Same thing, they do a lot of these crime cold cases and stuff, and man, very interesting.
Good sleuthing. Like she said, she got most of her information from Facebook.
Yeah.
Posts and threads and stuff like that. So yeah, that's just good sleuth work and following the leads.
Marianne, did you see my comment up? KP is Kelly Price Warren. Oh, I didn't see that, Marianne. Let me look real quick. I did not see that.
So that is the girl's name? Is that?
That's what she said. Kelly Price. KP equals Kelly Price Warner. Thank you so much. Kelly Price Warner. Thank you. I did not even see that. Well, let's see what we can find on her. Thank you, Marianne. Appreciate you, sweetheart. Thank you. Let's see. Carrie Price Fuller. Carrie Price Warner. Oh, their Instagram is not available. Interesting. That's just Kelly Price. Let's look at this. And oh, here's a little post on Facebook. Somebody said, "Why hasn't Kelly Price Warner been strung up?" Oh God. For info, since she was the one with him, says Alicia Ann. Isn't Alicia the daughter?
That's the mother of the daughter.
The mother of the daughter. She denies everything. She won't confess unless she gets into some serious trouble, needs a way out. I've messaged for several times, and she claims no involvement and wouldn't give me any info. If Shane said they were being followed, the first thing, see more. The first thing I do is look to see who it was and what the vehicle looked like. She didn't give anything useful. Interesting.
I wonder why police haven't squeezed her.
I don't know. Damian Simpson, Alicia. I'm reading Facebook here, guys. Alicia Ann, she lied on his whereabouts, running her mouth in jail at parties. She told people he was dumped in Bald Eagle State Forest. He was obviously found 80-ish miles as the crow flies near New York County. He was obviously dumped near Harrisburg and rested nearly Ellie Island, says Damian Simpson. Interesting. So yeah, I could see how going in here and checking this out. I don't have a Kelly Warner. NJ blogger funny. I'm the only one only because he knew I was there. See, if you knew everything, which you don't, you would see shit differently. But not one of you people know me. So stop talking poop unless you want to have one-on-one talk. Interesting. Interesting. Wow. I guess you can find pretty interesting things here.
Oh yeah.
I'm not like I said, I'm not one of these people that ever go to Facebook, but
That would explain Dad's silence too, and not wanting to name anybody. If he's dealing with dangerous
Right.
people, he could be in fear of some type of retaliation.
Who was Mike?
Who is Mike? I don't know. Who's Mike?
Wasn't there a Mike in this whole thing? A Mike Q?
Mike. Oh, Mike was his dad.
Yes, was his dad, right?
Yeah, Mike's the dad.
Oh, a lot of drama here. Well, you guys
Yeah,
want to
there's
go?
gonna be. They found the body, so it's gonna stir up. It's gonna stir up some drama. Or identified it. I mean, not found. They found it a while back, but identified. Shaking that tree.
Yeah, right. Interesting. This is. Well, okay. Let's go here. Let's go here. So what I'm looking at, everybody, if you're not seeing, I don't know if you've seen or not. Let me go ahead and share this. So here is a Facebook, and you can see it on here, I think. So here's a Facebook thread. There you go.
Check this out.
And you can see it. Now, this is Shane Workman story party. Why hasn't Kelly Price Warner been strung up? Or, you know what, since she was last with him. And then it talks about Alicia Key, the mother. This guy here, don't know who he is, Damian Simpson. And if you read literally down the line, you can see where it talks about Ashley Ann, that's the mother, talks about Alicia Ann, and even brings up Warner earlier. Kelly Warner. And this was Kelly Warner, the KP Kelly Warner. I don't know if you guys can see that. Can you guys see that?
Oh yeah, we can see it.
Okay. So you got Kelly Warner here saying, NJ blogger, funny, I'm the only one. You guys can read it. Then goes along and see more. Then this Jane Bulger says, Kelly, have you ever taken a lie detector? And then Kelly responds with, nope, but I said the very first interview I would. Interesting.
Who is Trey?
I don't know. Let's see if I can. Where I'm trying to find out where is Trey. Where you see Trey at?
It says Mel Rank says Ty and Kelly. I really think. Oh, you went down up too far.
I went up too far. Okay.
Yeah, it's Mel.
Oh, there it
Rank.
is. Mel Rank.
She obviously mentioned somebody named Trey at the party, whatever
Right.
party she's referring to. Like I said, that's what happens. That's how these things are usually solved. Someone gets drunk and they freaking spew at the mouth. And they say shit that they shouldn't have said. He was last to see him, she says.
Right. Mel Rank says Kelly Warner. Mel Rank called the detective and asked like a biggie girl. Wow. So you guys reading that? There you go. Interesting. Did he go on her page? She's supposedly married to the Thai guy.
Of course
Go to
she
whose
is.
page? What
Kelly
page?
Warner. Yeah.
Kelly Warner. Let me pull it up here if it lets me. Let me see. Where is Kelly Warner? Okay, let me see if I can pull it up. I don't know if it will, but
Click on her little picture.
yeah, that's what I did. Open sesame. It's not opening, guys. I tried, but you got to remember, I'm not really on. I'm on Facebook, but it's just the opening. Normally
Yeah.
you have to like get on, and I don't have a Facebook. I don't do Facebook. I really don't do a whole lot of things on this garbage. And what I could do is this, though. I could do this. That's not, man. That was the name, right? Kelly? Yeah.
Yep.
Kelly P. Warner. Let's see. Of course it would give me this.
Pam is saying his name is Ty Knepp.
Ty Knepp.
Kenepp. Yep.
Ty Knepp. Ty Kidnap. Interesting. I'm trying to find it, guys. I was hoping that I could.
Dang it, Chris, where is he when you need him?
Oh, shit. That man. Yeah.
I'll ride in his e-bike again.
That's not going to be them.
Oh, look, there he is. It's like
Where?
a genie in a bottle. He just
Where?
popped up
Where?
in chat.
Oh, he's in our chat?
Yeah, he just popped up in the chat. I said his name and he just poof. He's like Aladdin.
Oh, Chris, yeah. I thought you was talking about Tyler. I was like, what
no,
the
not,
hell?
Oh, no, Brad. Jeez, no. Chris.
Chris. Hey, Chris. I don't know where you've been hiding. But you want to come on in? We need some information. I don't have a Facebook. There's a link, Chris.
Come talk to us, Chris. We miss you. I hope you're feeling better.
Well, I don't go that far, but okay. Come on, Cristova. Come on out here. Well, you want everybody to say, pretty please? I work with the lead detective. She is watching this Facebook page, I am sure. Interesting. There's a lot of info there, April. Victoria, welcome in. Welcome in, Victoria. Chris, I know you're listening.
So wait a minute. So when they did get the case, they did get the case back from the FBI?
Apparently. Come on in, Chris. Mr. One of the three amigos who is not an amigo right now. Maybe he's working. That's a possibility. I don't think so, but. Oh, I see. You're on Shibby's Live.
Oh.
I see how it is. Look up on Facebook, Kelly Price Warner. All common spelling. Kelly Price Warner on Facebook. And tell us what you see. Comments. She's one of the people in question in the case we're covering right now. Didi, I love this chat. Me too, Gene. Glad you're back. Jim, Oleg, Annie, morning, Oleg. Yes, we do, Gene. Love you being here.
I found them.
Did you?
Not seeing anything initially, but
You ain't seen anything?
well, nothing that stands out. Nothing about the case. Just him and her. They got married this year, it looks like.
Click
Looks
that
like
likes, everybody. Click that like. Share the
looks like
stream,
he's
everybody.
third, too. Looks like he's in army fatigues in one picture.
Really? Let's get some more Devil Pup members in the house. Where are you seeing it on her site or something?
On his.
Okay.
Yeah. I went to hers and it said that they got married, so then I clicked on his. I'm looking at his stuff.
What is his name?
Ty Knepp.
Ty Knepp.
Tykenepp.
Yep.
Wow, it's saying he got married today, 8 hours ago.
No way.
Yeah,
Ty.
like he reposted that he got married.
Kenepp.
Yep. Says he originally got married July 28th, but sometimes people will take it down if they get in a fight, and then he reposted again today saying that he's married.
Oh, he's the one that looks like he's in a military thing, you said?
Yep, that's what it looks like anyways. Oh, he did post something about him.
Yeah, I'm not seeing any posts. You got a Facebook, right?
I do have Facebook, yeah.
Okay, so you'll be able to see it. Gotcha.
On May 10th, he shared that Facebook revealing missing Shane Workman case, and he commented, I wish they had a middle finger in the emoji section, in the reaction section, whatever it's called. I need for this little segment they had posted. The fuck, dude?
Mrs. DD, they said good morning. Heard a good morning right back to you, Gene. Thank you. Mrs. DD. Elle said good morning. Think she's hanging in the background. Norma said good morning. Mrs. Didi and Annie said good morning. This case does run deep, April, without a doubt. Pam says good morning, Didi. Mrs. Didi, should I say. And she had to step out the back. She said good morning. Thank you, everybody. But yeah, this case has got a lot of twists and turns. I mean, if we can go ahead and do some brainstorming, maybe I don't know if I'm going to be here at 5 because I got to go back to the hospital. We'll see. We'll see. Maybe on the next one we do, we'll have some more information. Maybe I just got to download Facebook. I hate Facebook. I really do. Yes, it does, April. It goes very deep. Click that like, everybody. Click that like. Share the stream out to your followers where everybody has an opinion and everybody's opinion matters. Praying for your family, DD. Thank you, Fin Fan. Appreciate you, my brother. Appreciate you always. Thank you. Sounds good, Gene. Thank you so much. Appreciate that. Yeah, if you could find something on this lady, Kelly Price Warner, or now she's, I guess, married to Ty Ty Knepp, Kenepp. Absolutely. Anybody who can find any information would be good. I can't thank you enough for covering them. Oh, no doubt. No problem, April. No problem. I got to work on, hell, I would have worked on it already had it not been for this emergency thing I had to take care of or go over to the hospital. But I got to work on Elle's little 4-year-old that went missing in her neck of the woods. But I think this is very interesting because there's a lot here. Now, what I don't understand is why, and maybe they are. I shouldn't say why because maybe they are, but is law enforcement looking at all this information? Thank you, Victoria. Appreciate you. Thank you for the prayers. Thank you so much, Annie. Appreciate that. That is very interesting. I mean, it's almost like I feel like when I read some of this stuff, I feel like there's no remorse. Now, I don't know who's right and who's wrong. I don't know any of the, other than we know who's deceased, and we know that that's never the right way to go, obviously. But Annie Heath, welcome in, Annie Heath. Good morning. Welcome in, everybody. Go ahead and click that like. Do me that favor, click that like. What I find interesting is Kelly Price Warner seems like, I don't know, I just get the feeling like there's no remorse for this young man to be unalive. Not that she has anything to do with it, don't misunderstand me, but just the idea, like, I think anybody would have a little sympathy about somebody, right?
Yeah, everything they say is just defensive.
Yeah. I clicked if I could click a million times like I would. I know, Annie. Thank you so much. Appreciate you. Welcome in. Thank you, Marianne, for the prayers. Thank you, April. Appreciate that. Thank you, everybody, for all your prayers. Make no mistake, I really do appreciate it. It's one thing we can do for each other is prayers, because prayers go a long way, everybody, no doubt. Yeah, I just don't understand. Like, there's no remorse with this Kelly individual, Kelly Price. Kelly Price Warner. Thank you for that info, Marianne. Because that's what
Good
opens
sign.
that thread. Yeah, that opens that thread up. Yeah, that's what I'm saying, Norma. Kelly's attitude tells like, oh, no care or soul. I mean, I would like to know, how does she know this individual? How does she know this individual?
Who, Ty?
No, Shane.
Yeah, I don't know.
Because that was the person that was with Shane, right?
Yeah, she was supposedly the last person that he was with that night.
Right. So she had to know either him or of him.
Exactly.
And if you know him or of him, you would probably know a little bit about them. Then the question then becomes, why so much disdain? You know, why so much negativity, I guess. April says, we had a friend's daughter unalive a couple years ago and they caught them. It's happened even in it's happening in small towns, no doubt about it. Quentin Broom, best wishes for Didi family. Thank you so much, Quentin. Appreciate you. Thank you so much. Sounds familiar, says Finn Fan. Good morning, Gene. Says Norma. Finn Fan, who last person seen with Nancy? Well, we know A&T, right? I mean, there's a reason why everything goes usually to the last person who sees these people. And then if not that, usually goes to somebody within the family. So there's 2 check marks.
Yeah. Well, I gonna say that I think the last person that was seen with Nancy was Porch Guy, but that's just me.
If he's seen it, yeah, because true. That is
The last
true.
one he was seen with was Porch Guy, and the first one I noticed he was missing was the church friends, not the family. So technically, you know me, I don't think family's involved. So
No, I get it. Trying to think of. So here in the next live, I have a thing now where I think now we know through some other, not some, a live streamer, when the date of Luke Daly's accident was. That's interesting. Very interesting. We're going to have to do a talk on that one. I don't want to tell you because then I'll spoil the surprise. But you all probably know, but if you don't know, I don't want to spoil the surprise. Bam, April, it's true. It's just you don't hear because we are small. Just don't get out. Yeah, no doubt. Guys, I live in a small community as well, tiny community. Oleg, they should be back home A&T for the son's school. Or maybe they'll pull a cider family and stay away. They should be back home, no doubt. Fin Tommaso changes his story and can't tell who literally dropped her off. Suspicious. He did he say that again? Did he change the story again? Fin? I dropped her off. No family dropped her off. Unreal. Yeah, we can homeschool here as well. But they don't. I mean, I don't know. I can't say they don't strike me as homeschoolers, but they got to make some money. Got to work, pay off them bills, right? DD, did you see my email I sent you on the cider? I did see it. And I'm going to go right there just to show you. I did. That's the wrong one. I did see it. Sorry, guys. We're just doing a little sleuthing. Yes, Oleg, I did. Oh, wow. I got that. Yeah, I got that clipping. It's crazy. Burned to death. Unbelievable. Can't make this up. Thank you so much, Oleg. Appreciate that. So where we at here? So yeah. School doesn't start here till September. I think school starts over here on the 14th of August. And some places start on the 21st of August. And one of A&T's neighbors said they haven't seen them in 2 months. They've been gone for a long while, Annie Heath. They've been gone for a long while. His dad's a teacher. Gene, lots of parents are homeschooling nowadays. There is a lot. I mean, it's like a lot of places are just not safe anymore for kids to be in, even school buildings. Absolutely, April. Can't think of a better time to go ahead and do this case, without a doubt. It's what we cover. Well said, Oleg. Well said. I just read that. Well said. Well, we're going to follow this case wherever it leads us. We'll be able to do a little bit more sleuthing. And I may be forced to open up a Facebook. But I will do that for my friends. Yes, I will. Songing in my heart. If I was them, I would sell the properties and move out of state. There is no way I could stay. Understandable. Understandable. Song in my heart. Totally understandable. Norma, April, Chris, I just messaged Mr. Hewitt to see if he would like to come on our panel to tell his story and help understand the case better. Well, thank you. Appreciate that. Awesome.
Who is Mr. Hewitt?
I think that's the guy that ain't that the guy, the dad?
Oh, that's his name, Mike Hewitt.
Yeah.
Mike is the dad.
Yeah.
I don't know
I'm
why I thought they would
positive.
have the same name, last name, but
No, it's weird because the mom has the same last name, which is whatever his last name is, Workman.
Workman, yeah.
So the mom has that same last name.
Interesting.
I will ask AJ about school tomorrow or when he is out searching again. Sounds good, Marianne. Norma, Oleg, I was too hacked many times. I'm never careful now. April, they aren't married, but Shane has the mom's name. That is correct.
Okay,
April,
so it's his stepfather then, right?
yeah.
Okay.
Barry, April says, been together since 1982. It's a long time, man. School already started in Tucson, Arizona. I follow AJ. He's very committed to the homeless Aunt Nancy. That's awesome, Gene. Norma, thank you. Thank you, April. April, no, it's his father, but they weren't married. Correct. KB, lurking while getting ready. Prayers for your family. Thank you, KB. Appreciate you. Yeah, I don't really know what to expect today, folks, honestly. So, what we found out, in case you didn't know, 1 to 2 days is what they're giving him. It went from 6 months to 2 days, that fast. So, I don't know how. They said it just took a turn for the worse. And then they made sure everybody knew a family to come in and say basically your goodbyes. So yeah, they'd read the last rites and all that. So I don't know. I still say it's in God's hands. It's in God's hands, and that's when it'll happen. Is when it happens. But yeah, very interesting. Very interesting how things just morph so fast. It's just mind-boggling. It really is.
Yeah, it is. I'm sorry
You
for
know,
you, dog.
yeah.
You're doing my prayers.
I appreciate you, brother. Thank you. Thank you so much, Melly. Appreciate you. Thank you, all of you guys. I appreciate you all. This is how I know this family here on our channel are tight, man. I appreciate that. I appreciate all the kind words from everybody. I know you do, April. You guys have shown your true love big time, and you know what? That's why I love this channel and I love you guys. You guys are amazing. No doubt about it. Thank you, Chris. Appreciate that. We all know that one day our number is called and we all have to go when our number is called, you know. That's just how it works. That's how life works. But it's never easy and it's always hard to prepare. Yeah, it really is. Thank you, Chris. But I'm supposed to get a phone call here at about, it's 11:52. I'm supposed to get a phone call here about 2:00 and then meet up with my other siblings. And then we'll go from, so roughly 2:00. I'll be out of here by 2. But yeah, thank you, Norm. Appreciate that. Much love. Appreciate you all. You guys mean a lot to me, no doubt about it. But yeah, I don't know if I'm going to be there all day. I don't think I want to be there all day. I'm probably going to be there for a few hours and then head back. I mean, yeah. So we'll go ahead. Thank you so much, Melly. Thank you so much. We'll go ahead and try to do a live at 5, but just stay tuned to your. I'll send out a message like I did yesterday, and this time I'll probably end up sending a message to April and a couple of the mods, and then you guys can pass out the word that we won't have. If we don't have one, I'll notify you some way, shape, or form. I'm going to try it at 5, but I have no idea what to expect right now. No idea what to expect.
We're with you, Dee. Love you, man.
I appreciate you, my brother. Thank you. Thank you so much.
And tell you.
I appreciate that.
So now let me ask you a question. Did all 19 of you fit in the goddamn room?
We had.
I just wanted to make you smile. That's all. And giggle.
We had 4 bedrooms, but the house was small. Yeah.
No, I'm talking about the hospital.
Oh no, the hospital? Oh
yeah.
God, it was crammed up big time in there.
Wow. Crazy. I just wanted to see you smile. I wanted to make you giggle for a minute.
Thank you. You did your job, my brother. Thank you.
Right.
I can tell you that it was interesting because when we got there, there wasn't a whole lot being said because his eyes have been closed all day.
Yep.
But like Dee usually does, started talking to him in his ear. And believe it or not, probably midway through the time we were there, he went ahead and opened his eyes.
Yeah,
and then I started chatting with him just a little bit. He couldn't really make out what he was saying for the most part.
Right.
But he ended up going ahead and we started directing him towards his family, his wife and his grandkids and whatnot. And he started smiling and stuff. So there was a little bit of that.
That's good.
So that was the nice thing about it. I mean, but there's just a lot of things, unknown things, and that's why we're going back, is to see, like, how. I mean, like I said, his body looks healthy, but they say his mind is gone. I don't know how that's possible because he recognized we were talking and he recognized who I was. And then I left. When I got ready, I took off. Me and my wife, we left. And then my niece came running and said, hey, uncle. He said, Dad wants to see you. I said, huh? He goes, Dad's calling to see you again. And I was ready to leave because I already talked to him. So I had to turn around and go back. And then we talked some more. And so I'm not sure his mind is totally gone. Makes no sense to me.
It's strange how things work.
You're not only kidding.
I'll tell you, my mother passed from cancer, and she was in hospice. She was in a hospice home, and we would go see her, and everything was perfectly fine. I mean, she had brain cancer,
right?
And everything was fine. Everything was fine. So the last week, we went on I think it was Tuesday, and she was sitting up talking, like normal.
Right.
And they called me Friday and said, you better come in and, say your last whatevers. Yep. So we got there. She couldn't talk. She couldn't do much of anything. She could just look at you. It's just weird how fast it happens. We're talking 24 hours. You go from, practically normal to nothing. Yeah,
so, no.
It's crazy, man. It's crazy how life works. But I don't think, when they say the mind is gone, I strongly feel they know family, husbands, wives, kids, grandkids, mothers, uncles, aunts, whatever. They know. I think God lets them, helps them in the end, understand and be able to communicate a little bit.
I agree with that.
It's kind of weird how it works, And somebody said you're echoing bad, but I don't hear you echoing.
No, I think it's you, Chris.
I'm echoing?
Yeah.
I think so.
Oh,
there you go. Now you're good. You were.
I don't know.
You're good now. You got just a little bit of feedback on the back end.
Oh, you know what you hear?
The music?
Yeah, you hear the music. So, but I'm gonna jump anyways.
Hey man, thank you so much. Appreciate you.
Oh yeah, man. Love you, DD, man.
Love you too, brother. I appreciate all the kind words, my friend.
Whether or not we see you at 5, it is what it is.
Yep. Well,
You've got more important things to do.
I know. I'm gonna make my plans to be here at 5, everybody. So we'll just go from there. And
again,
you guys
know
what's up.
Take care of you and your family. Don't worry about the channel.
You got it.
We'll be here tomorrow at 9 a.m. anyway. So
sounds good.
But yeah, if you're here, then we'll see you at 5.
All right.
All right,
I appreciate that. God bless, my brother.
Same to you. Semper Fi, my man.
Semper Fi. Be safe.
All right, buddy. See you guys later, Doug.
Later, Chris.
So yeah, everybody, that's where we're at. I appreciate all of you guys, and I know, look, for me, the only difficult part is that I had 19 siblings, right? And now, when God forbid, whenever this brother of mine passes, it'll be down to 8. Now, I'm the last one of 19, so that tells you I'm not that far behind. So the idea is that trying to understand that and put that in perspective, I remember when I was a little kid, I never thought I would see the day in my life that I would see, any brother of mine in their weakest form, health-wise, because I was the youngest and they were all healthy at that time, obviously. But I think that for me, the big thing is just that this brother of mine here, we were close, very close. I mean, there's so many things. He's also one that went to the Army, right? He went to the Army right at the end of Vietnam. He went to the Army and they were getting ready to deploy. He was on the tarmac, which is basically the runway. They were in the plane ready to head on out. And then that's when they did the ceasefire. So he barely lucked out of not going, him and my other brother. So just the idea, but when he came back, hey, he gave a lot of himself. He loved sports, and he coached girls softball for like 40 some years, 45 years. That's what he did, and he was very successful, very, very successful. And but I remember all those times, but I just never thought I would see the day where I would see this many people in the family go this fast. Just never thought I would see the day, So for me, it's like a shock. And ever since we started doing the family reunions every year we had one. I think we've had four or five in the last 4 or 5 years. Somebody, and possibly even two people, if he passes, which I'm sure he will. Each year we had when somebody has passed, whether it was from COVID, whether it was from COVID, or from just body shutting down or whatnot. So yeah, it's just, it is what it is. I don't fault anyone. I don't fault. I'm not one to sit there and blame God or anything like that. Nothing like that. I know how it works. We all know how life works, and that's how we make life work. It's a circle of life. It's how it happens. Doesn't mean we have to like it, but there's nothing we can do to stop it. So, you just got to deal with it. He has, he's got a son and 3 girls. And then he's only got about, I would say probably about 5, 6, maybe 7 grandkids. When my mom passed, she had it was like 80 some grandkids. I mean, she had so many. But yeah, he's got like about 7 grandkids, and they're very close. They're very, very close. So, but yeah, it is what it is. And that's how we roll. So knowing that you see your as I would call it, our dynasty, our family of so many, seeing how big we were, how everybody was engaged in sports and just school and everything, you see those numbers dwindling down. And you ask the question, man, really? We're now getting down to 8? It's crazy. I'm telling you, it's crazy. So, yeah. But it's all good, man. It's all good. Spiritually, I'm great. Hey, I get it. I'm great spiritually. Physically, as a everyday person, it is difficult to think about because you're like, okay, who's next? So with that, I appreciate every one of you. Like I said before, you guys mean the world to me. You really do. I love this chat because I love you guys. You guys make this channel awesome. You guys use common sense, which is why I say that every day, because life is really common sense, man. You know what to do. You know how to do it. So you do the right thing. That's common sense, to me. And you all have that. And that's what makes this so nice when we're talking and having these conversations about cases. We're able to process things because we use common sense. Sure, we have different ideas and different views, but we all think outside that box with common sense. At the end of the day, we look at it and go, well, what makes more sense in this situation? Like just an example, like we just covered Shane, right? We just covered Shane. We find out, yeah, he had a checkered past. He was trying to get better. Then we come across the name, Marianne comes across the name of who this missing person was that we wanted to find out who she is. And then we find out, golly, man, there was not a whole, it doesn't seem like there was a whole lot of remorse there by some of the things we read on what they were talking about and saying on social media. And yeah, it's like, it's understanding. It's understanding when you put logic, which is common sense to me, when you put logic in the equation, it's kind of hard to deviate from that. It's kind of hard to go against common sense, right? Because think about it. Think about it. When you have common sense and you're using and applying common sense, right? It's really hard to go away from that. Because then when you go away from common sense, it doesn't make sense. And then you have to ask yourself, well, why doesn't it make sense to me? Why doesn't it make sense? Well, it's probably because I'm kind of like trying to find another reason when the reason is staring right in front of you, right? You may not know all the dynamics. You may not know all the nuances, but you do see where something is pointing to you. You know, the all, ands, if, what's, probably, could have, this, that, the other. Well, just go right to what you're actually seeing and see if that makes any sense. That's how I process things, you know. And I think everybody has common sense, whether everybody uses it or not. Well, that's up to the individual. But anyway, let me stop rambling. I'm going to go ahead and end this live. Doug, you want to go ahead and say your last, my friend?
Yeah, thanks for having me once again, and great conversation. Hopefully we'll keep looking into this and all the other cases, and yeah, hopefully we can find some answers, get some conclusions. But yeah, thank you, Devil Dog and Devil Pups. I will see you either later on or tomorrow, and I wish you the best with your brother. And yeah.
Thank you so much, man. It means a lot to me. Appreciate
So,
you. Always.
Appreciate you too, and Semper Fi, dog.
Semper Fi, my friend.
Take care.
Everybody, I
Thanks,
just
Pop.
want to say to everybody, thank you so much. Melly says it right on the spot. Give a hug to your loved ones. You know, don't ever not tell your loved ones that you love them and how much they mean to you, because one day you're not going to have that. You all know that. A lot of you know that. I don't even need to say that. But for the ones who don't know, life is short. One day they're there, the next day they're gone. So make sure you give a hug to your loved ones. Make sure you tell those loved ones how much they influenced you in your life, how much they literally went ahead, and how they you know, what they meant to you, you know. And do that, because when you can't say these things and you can't communicate these things to them, because either they're not able to comprehend, they're not able to listen, or they're not even know that you're who you even are. Remember, do it while you can, when you have the chance. I have no regrets. I so far, everybody that I have seen pass in my family, I've been able to speak to and at least give my last few words and my thank yous. So just make sure you love your family and you hug your loved ones and you tell them what they mean to you, because sometimes they may really not know, especially in this kind of world that we live in today. So, Devil Pups, subscribers, lurkers, everybody who's watched, thank you so much. I'm going to come back at 5. If I can, I'll be back at 5. If I can't, well, then we'll be on tomorrow at 9. So God bless you all. Appreciate you all. Think of you all. Until we see each other again, it's all common sense, everybody. Semper Fi, and God bless. Amen.